Oh, welcome, my friends who are here. Friends indeed, because we'll talk about friends tonight a little bit here on Clobberin Times Mark C. Comics, Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk, I should say, for this lovely March 21st, 2022. Clobberin Times number 322, 323 on YouTube, but 1023 overall. I want to welcome you all, my good friends, for popping in. It's good to see you. I really appreciate you being here tonight. Let me say some hellos to all those who have popped in early. The great Phantom Outsider here way early there. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. But big shout out for everyone who showed up at Saturday at Star Trek this past Saturday night. What a time that was, by the way. Thank you all so much. You were just amazing. The great J-Man, what is up, buddy? It's good to see you, bud. Excuse me. Good, great to have you here, bud. Great to have you. Of course, the Comic Relief Crusader. Hello there, sir. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. The great D. Bud Martin, buddy. All right, good to see you, man. And the Super One himself, Kal-El. What's up, Super Kal-El? Great to see you, my friend. It is always great to have you here. Your Muslim uncle, thank you so much for your kind 199 super chat. I appreciate you. He just says just closed my comic box at my local comic shop. I guess it means that's probably what they call their folder system there. I'm guessing it's pull list. Closed it up, huh? I haven't had one in so long, so I guess I just can't blame you there, buddy. Dr. Coffin Nails, welcome. It's good to see you in here. Thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. It's great to have you here. So yes, your Muslim uncle. Look, I haven't had one of those in a long time, so I hear you, buddy. Steve Mitchum, bro, what's up? What's up, bro? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you and Maddie are doing wonderful. And it's good to see you all here tonight. Yeah, what a strange just amazing night that was Saturday night. You guys were incredible though. Yeah, sorry. Comic Release Crusader, did you check that comic link I sent you? I'm gonna have to check. I don't look at my Twitter twatter as much as I used to, as much as I need to. I mean, I should say more. I don't. I'll have to check it out, man. I'll go back and check as soon as I get a chance. I'll tell you what I do get from Twitter, though. I got a lovely Twitter DM message, you guys. You're just going to be so envious of me, I tell you now. It's a message from a really, 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 really hot chick, and saying, how great luck is this? I mean, just imagine the great luck. I get this message, and I don't know her, of course. She sent me a DM out of the blue. I mean, she's beautiful. And says, hi, how's it going? Broke up with my boyfriend yesterday. Want a no strings attached? Find me here. And this is a link. And there's a nickname, Fire Girl. How lucky am I? I mean, who has that kind of great luck? There's the great Mark D with the C. What's up, buddy? I mean, because that is totally real, right? It's not like fake or anything, huh? Not at all. I mean, it's totally on the level, right, you guys? It's true, right? I should believe it. It's really that girl in that picture, right? By the way, I guess sound check, everyone. I guess you're hearing me. I hope you are. I always forget to ask for the sound check that I need. So yeah, yep, legit. There you go. It's on the level, right? I just wanted to be sure, guys, before I click on that and find out. I wouldn't want anyone to be lying to me about anything like that, but no one with a hot chick avatar like that would be lying. I just wanted to run it by you guys. This tonight's show is about friendship, and you got to run it by your buddies, And of course, your buddies will go, "Oh yeah, it's true. Are you kidding me? Yeah, she probably just thinks you're a superstar." So that's Twitter there for you. Yeah. Yeah. I believe in it, man. Yep. I mean, look, I can see getting catfished in 2008 and 2009. I mean, it was a new thing, really. But it's always funny to me that they're still trying that crap. Then again, maybe it's working on people. I don't know. Maybe the fire. It's like throwing a whole bunch of against the wall and like one little piece sticks and it's enough. It's like if you try 40 times and 3 idiots buy into it, I guess that's all it takes, right? I don't know what you mean, Comic Relief Crusader. Does she live in Nigeria? No, I'm sure she lives right next door to me. What a break, huh? That we just it's just hey, kismet. Okie dokie. Well, what can you do? Anyway, a couple of show notes. First of all, my wonderful first officer, who is not here with us this evening, but will be here with us, I would like to show this as because I forgot to show this at the beginning of the show like I'm supposed to, because she has some wonderful works of science fiction, and here's where you may obtain them. Yes, Dr. Coffin Nails, pretty much. They probably, I'm sure, like I say, obviously, you wouldn't want to think anyone would fall for that anymore after as long as the internet's been around, but you're probably right. People probably do. Yes. I see it now after having had it tried on me so many times, and then you don't see it that often. And once in a while, it'll pop up like I'll get friended on Facebook by one of these people, and they'll start talking to you like they know you, and then they'll start talking about, and it's always a super hot picture of a chick that, yeah, I'm sure it's her. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's to the point where it's just kind of funny now more than anything else. Let's see here. Let's see up in here. Anyway, of course tonight. Let's see. I'll be here back Wednesday night doing hopefully something better than a open talk thing, but we'll see. And then a gang will be back for Clobby's Clubhouse Thursday night, y'all. And then, of course, Saturday night Star Trek. We'll have a good one for you again. Saturday night is all right for a fight. Hey. But I figured, since last week, it's funny how this goes because I didn't really intend it. I mean, it was not much of a plan, really. For the 3 weeks ago, I just decided because it was Superman's birthday type thing, I would do a Superman show on that Monday night Mark C Comic Talk, and I did, and that was a lot of fun for me anyway. And then the following week, since it was kind of where we're getting up the big Batman week, the release of The Batman, I thought, hey, let's do a little Batman focus. And I did. And then this past Monday night, since we were remembering in a year, it'd been a year, just about a year since our dear departed friend had passed, Mark C., the show's namesake, I thought, well, obviously we dedicated that show to him. And of course, the great Loki and the great Mexican Iron Man and the great Doomcock all joined me to celebrate our dear departed buddy, Mark C. And so I figured follow those three up with a show about, since we're comics here, we talk about comics. Batman and Superman are best buddies, and then Mark and I obviously didn't get to hang out as much as we ever would have wanted to or whatever, but we hung out on this show a lot. So we became like buddies doing a comic show and other stuff, but mostly comics. So I figured why not finish it up talking a little bit about the best buddy teams of comics or buddy partner teams of comics, or at least just, because I've always thought that there's certain friendships in comics, because we all probably have a lot of good friends who love comic books. And the friendships are very entertaining. They're team ups, not just team ups, they're partnerships and stuff. All the time, not always just team ups, but some of our favorite superheroes being buddies was always kind of cool. Especially when you're a kid growing up, because You have your friend. If you're a kid that has no friends and you're reading stories about superheroes who are friends, that was always special. And even if you're a kid who does have, or lucky enough to have friends, and back then, when you're reading comics, I guess some didn't. I've always been very, very fortunate having great friends like Steve Mitchum, for example, whom I've known for 90 years now. So I just love the friendships in comic books. And what are some of the more? There are plenty of them, I suppose, but some of the ones that are more entertaining to me. Some of the ones I enjoy the most are well, obviously, so Batman and Robin. Robin is his friend, but he's more of a mentor to Robin. Yes, Robin got later, old chum, but Superman and Batman are best buds. And we talked about that a number of months back when my buddy J Man and I talked about, when we talked about, well, actually, the World's Finest show, but I don't think he did that. He did DC Comics Present with me, but we did talk about that as well. I talked about that a lot. Batman and Superman are best buddies. But anyway, and yes, it's weird that I'm doing this show by myself. I should have got a buddy to do it with me tonight. I'll try to get someone to join me later, but I was needing a topic this week. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. This is something that doesn't require any prep. It's just talking a little bit about the friendships of comics. And I figure since we've been talking about a good friend of ours last week, we're gonna just do that this week. Yeah, it was DC Percents, but you're right. It was DC Percents, J Man. I'm senile. I forgot. But I should have got you to do the World's Finest one with me. But Soups and Bats are the big one for me. But I think Spider-Man, Human Torch, for some reason, because Superman, Batman were they're the big two of DC. Spidey's the big one of Marvel, but again, Human Torch at the time when they were was pretty big for a while, of course. But they've always had a very interesting relationship. Ben and Johnny were friends, but they were more. I mean, they were more like family, more like brothers in a sense. Ben and Reed were good friends, of course. But as far as duos that started out, started out really as not liking each other. Spidey and Torch were enemies first. Batman and Superman were not enemies when they didn't know each other that well when they first met, and they were both pros back then. And that no matter what any revisionist crap ever does to them, they were not enemies at any point to any substantial degree, at least in their real deal parlance. But Spidey and Torch had an interesting beginning. Just about was it a couple? I think a couple weeks ago, our good buddy Nick Weiser, who is on this month, has been reviewing Ditko Spider-Man era 1 through 20, I believe he's doing. Reviewed an issue when I was with them the week before last. There was an issue where it was I think it was maybe an Amazing Spider-Man number 8 or something like that, where they didn't, for some reason, they were fighting that electronic brain guy or whatever it was, the brain thingy or whatever, D-Bud, you remember? And they didn't have enough pages to finish that comic book, so they got Jack Kirby with Ditko inks to do the last 7 pages. So they just made up this nothing story of Spider-Man trying to steal the Human Torch's girl just because he doesn't like the Human Torch. Yeah, the living brain. Thank you. And it was just I don't know. Stan just said, just have them fight for a few minutes. You know, it was just nothing to it. But still, you got to see Kirby inked by Ditko, even though it was an early era, but which was kind of cool. But it was just they were antagonistic. They were always antagonistic towards each other. But they became, you know, they became confidants, really. Let's see here. They became confidants after a while, but remember, even when they started sharing Marvel Team Up, you know, Marvel Team Up started out the first few issues were Spidey and the Torch. And they weren't nice to each other. They were just, you know, obviously since they were both superheroes, they were helping each other, but they were treating each other like crap, you know. And they're being a-holes to each other. Oh man. But it was fun, you know. And eventually they even started alternating in the book a little bit. But they're best friends now. And it took a while because they were kids, you know. It took a while because they were kids. What are you going to do? Hello there, Oliver Belamonte. Oh, we'll be talking about a lot of those other friendships for sure. Starting out with this one, but see, I'm trying to pull up some pictures here. The Spidey Torch thing. I pulled up the wrong one. What am I doing? What do I do? The Spidey Torch thing had to evolve, and I'll tell you this: there was, I think, one of my favorite comics that deals with that. Well, my first one. Let's see here. Let me find it here. Oh, I know what I wanted to look for. All right. Again, I was not able to get any pictures ready, so we're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Google it. Sorry. Don't tell Raquel on us. Don't tell everyone. Don't tell everyone. Yearbook. All right. I think one of the funniest, one of the most entertaining stories I've ever seen with regards to the Spidey uh, Torch friendship, relationship, I should say, because it's another good one too. But this wasn't the friendship. This was this was sort of the relationship, the antagonistic relationship between the two. I don't know if any of you've ever seen. I've talked about this comic book before. I used to love Kurt Busiek's Untold Tales of Spider-Man title. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this. But they did a yearbook, 96 yearbook, they called it. It was an annual, basically. And it was Mike Allred. Mike Allred did the art. Really cool, fun throwback art for a Busiek story. And in this story, it was taking place very early on, and it had that great feel of those old times. You know, when Submariner was pursuing Sue, Reed was ignoring Sue. They weren't married yet or anything. And Spider-Man Human Torch did something to embarrass Spider-Man. Or to Peter Parker, something like that, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've read this now, but I got to go back and try to read this again. And anyway, Spider-Man wanted revenge, so he went. And Sue, by the way, in the meantime, she was pissed off at Reed for ignoring her. So Spider-Man went and to piss off Johnny, he asked Sue out for a date, and Sue wanted to piss off Reed, so she went with him. And so Johnny got pissed off, and he went and told the Submariner that menace Spider-Man had kidnapped Sue. I'll just leave that there, and of course, wackiness ensued, and it was so funny. It's just a fun, silly, throwback romp. to the Silver Age, and it was just a joy. I really loved it. That was a pretty good comic anyway, Untold Tales of Spider-Man, I thought. But this was my favorite one they did. That's just me. Excuse me. And then, now I have to do something very painful. And this is painful for me because I've got to talk about a comic that I liked very much that I so despise the guy who wrote it. I hate giving him any praise. Written by a total guy who's a total jackweed now that nobody likes for good reason. It was a miniseries from the early 2000s. It was called Spider-Man Human Torch. I think it was 5 issues. It's by Dan Slott. Somebody like Dan Slott, who's but it takes place, so in each issue takes place in a different era during the history between Spidey and the Human Torch. And like that Kurt Busiek, Mike Allred story in the 96 Untold Tales, it's just sheer fun. Each issue like the first issue. I think the first issue tells the story of Spider-Man. I think getting in trouble, starting a fight with Dr. Doom. This series here, if you can forget the fact that it's Dan Slott, if you could just forget that for a minute. This was a fun, lighthearted comic, that really just, I don't know. I just loved it. And at the time I didn't know Dan Slott was such an ass off. Shazam's on Tubi? Well, cool. Batman 66 is on Tubi. Oh my goodness. Tubi's pretty cool now. They got a lot of good stuff on there. So, what the hell? I don't know what the hell that is down there. But Spider-Man and Human Torch covers. It was just an amazing friendship. Put that cover there. Dan Laney. Yeah. So, but obviously it's easy I think that's my favorite one. If I pick a sentimental favorite. Oh yeah, Steve Mitchum. I watch me some Tubi now. I've watched a lot of stuff on there. Yeah, they got so much stuff I don't know where to start. Right now I've been watching UFO, but at least that's on YouTube. Well, so far. But Batman and Superman, well, they're my favorites. There's something about the Johnny Storm. Yeah, the Johnny Storm, Peter Parker, Spidey Torch relationship that I love. Obviously, Ben and Reed are great friends too. That's a great one. But another one that I said, Andy Masterson, what's up, buddy? Oh, you downloaded UFO? Cool. Comic Relief Crusade. I'm enjoying that a lot. Raquel's enjoying it a lot also. But see, you got them right here. There's so many great ones. Power Man and Iron Fist. Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, of course. Wonder Man Beast. Alan Scott and and Jay Garrick. GL Green and GL Flash. Cap's got two great buddies, and Bucky and Sam Wilson. And man, but Hal and Ollie are great buddies. Truly great pals. But a lot of people talk. I was going to talk about one of the most famous of the friendships, like duo friendships that they made a big deal about. There's a comic of it now, believe it or not. Of course, is Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. And they became very popular in the late 80s and into the 90s a little bit in terms of that friendship between the two, and they've done some great stuff with them, especially on Batman Brave and the Bold. But what's funny about that to me is that friendship's kind of based on the one between Wonder Man and the Beast, which was that's what it was reminiscent of to me. In the Avengers for a good while, and I loved Wonder Man, and I love the Hank McCoy Beast, especially the one you see right here that I put up there. They were good buddies. They went out and had misadventures and got into trouble and stuff like that too. They should have had a title together. Like right now, there's actually, and it's a current title, so even though it's Jurgens, I can't bring myself to touch it, but I can understand why some people are. This new blue and gold, or gold and blue, whatever title it's out there. But I haven't bought it myself, but I hear some people are saying that it started out okay, and then they're not too sure about it. But still, that's a cool relationship between those two. And yes, Andy Masterson, I love Cap and Falcon. Look, when I first saw my first Captain America comic, it was called Captain America and the Falcon. Cap and Sam Wilson, of course, that's a great pairing, and they are great friends. Obviously, he probably never thought he could have a friend as close to him as Bucky was, and then he got Sam, and that was just really amazing. But yes, people forget about Wonder Man and Beast. But the Blue Beetle Booster Gold friendship, in my opinion, is kind of based on that, I think. And again, there was a time, again, there are very few in comics that are as cool as Power Man and Iron Fist. Luke Cage and Danny Rand. What a team, they were thrown together at first, and they were very different kind of guys. And they became great buddies. I know my buddy Steve Mitchum was a fan of Power Man and Iron Fist. Power Man and Iron Fist was a good title for a long time. And I really loved it. I like their team up. I like their dynamic so much so that even on that dumb Luke Cage TV show, which wasn't that good, and I was very disappointed, but I love the guy playing, Luke Cage. They have one episode in the second season where Danny Rand, and of course the Iron Fist show was also not very good. But Danny Rand comes, they'd already met in the Defenders show, and then, they knew each other. And so there's an episode where they just, for one episode, Iron Fist comes over to team up with Power Man, in other words. And that episode is the only episode of that series that I really, really liked. And it was just because I got to see Power Man and Iron Fist together in one episode. Wasn't much, but it kind of felt like we're going, hey, I'd like to see this. This would have been the show I would wanted to see. Instead of Iron Fist's own show, which sucked, especially second season, and Luke Cage's 2 seasons, which, again, I liked the actor, but I just didn't think the show did much. How about do a Power Man and Iron Fist show? That would have been fantastic. Well, they probably could have screwed that up too, don't get me wrong, but it would have been great to see that. I would love to have seen that. I just picked up the first Iron Fist Epic Collection, Great Gil Kane and John Byrne. Yes, I have. I only have a digital of that right now. I'd love to get a physical of that one, D-Bud. But yes, I love it, man. Great, great stuff. I was just rereading the very first Power Man Iron Fist stories together when they first got together, because I don't know how long it's been since I'd read those. I was just rereading those a couple months back. That was a good comic. Wonder Man and Beast never got their own comic. Booster Gold and Beetle never got one until this new thing recently. Torch and Spidey, like I said, they've had their own a couple of times. Cap and Falcon, Cap and Bucky had their own. Green Lantern, Green Arrow had their own. And of course, Batman and Superman and stuff like that. But some of these guys never got much of a chance to do their own book. There's team up, or they're continuing to team up together. But now I'm not alone. I got now there are two of us, so now I got a superhero team up for you. Mark D with a C is here. What's up, bub?
Hey, thank you for having me. Yep, still recovering a little bit from the jet lag from Italy and too much pizza, but this discussion has pepped me up. So,
cool, man. Superhero pals,
yeah, no,
it's one of our favorite things about comics, huh?
Well, that's why I think you love comics, because you love the relationships, and it's just not beating up the bad guys, right? So,
right.
You mentioned, obviously, you're talking about Spidey and Torch. It's that's one of the great classic ones, or Foggy and Matt Murdock, maybe.
Yeah, they're not superheroes, but they're good
not
friends.
superheroes.
I like but I know there's a good friendship. But I'm talking about
But it was just superheroes. But I'm saying that's one of the things that I think draws all of us to comics, because it's you've got that where everyone knows your name kind of vibe. That you see those characters you love together, and it just brings you to a happy place, right? Because it's. And that's what's so great about that Fantastic Four series to start with. It was a real family, right? It was real people, and it was realistic, right? They'd bicker and fight, but you knew they loved each other deep down, and that's why I think it's Fantastic Four gets overlooked, unfortunately, somewhat today. But and that's why we love all these these great team ups, right? Back when Batman and Superman were friends, you just love reading those world's finest comics, or those old, when you had the two buddies together, getting it done, and that's what makes it even more interesting, I think, and more human. Humanizes the characters.
It does, and well, and it also adds an element of fun to it.
Yep.
You get to play best buddies, like especially if you're a kid. And they did it again. I think one of the ones that gets the least attention that I was talking about, it was is Wonder Man and the Beast.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that one? Oh, by the way, hello, Trevor Cunningham. Are you familiar with that one at all?
Well, yeah. I mean, that was a good relationship in the X-Men. So and crossover. Well, X-Men crossover to the Avengers. So when Beast was in the Avengers. So
that was when he was in the event. Yeah.
In
the Avengers when he was blue.
The good-looking Beast, right?
The good Beast, not the
before it became a cat Beast.
Oh, I hate the cat. I freaking hate
Beauty
and
the Beast. Yeah,
the cat Beast, man. It was disgusting. Yeah. But this, I don't know. They didn't get as much time as Beetle and Booster, but like I was saying, that was kind of taken from this, because they were always kind of hanging out and doing stuff together, and I always thought it was kind of funny, because I love Wonder Man, and I love the Beast, and that was a weird era. It was in the 70s, because all the women were going nuts for the Beast, man. I was like, this is all these women are like furries.
For Simon, they should be going for Simon, right? I mean,
yeah, and they were all more interested in Hank.
Well, I won't make any comments, but you never know.
women, you know who you are. I mean, they thought he was. I don't even know what to say.
Well, Nightcrawler became a real popular character too, right? So,
what you mean with the ladies, though?
Not with the ladies, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No, I mean, Beast was popular with the ladies, and he didn't even understand it. That was pretty funny, though. Yeah. So they even did a whole issue with them together. And so then you have Blue Beetle and Booster Gold here. Let's see. Yes, I was too lazy and unable to put on any like pictures. I should have got a bunch of different ones.
Oh, that's sorry.
Pictures,
just
Google them. Just don't tell.
Google them. Yeah, don't tell Raquel.
Don't tell Raquel, everyone.
That's the easiest.
We're duck going right now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying last night. Let me duck go that.
Yeah. In Justice League International, they became the Bwahaha Boys. Everything was they were slapstick. There it is right there. The big ha ha. But they were special pals. They were good. I mean, they just became best of. But I don't know why either, because it didn't. Actually, they did kind of handle it pretty well. They in Batman, the Brave and the Bold cartoon that I love so much.
Yep.
They did an episode because because they killed Blue Beetle, of course. DC Jagoffs killed Blue Beetle, killed Ted Cord.
Yep.
They had Max Lord blow his head off or some horrible shite like that, I guess. So, but they couldn't do that. They weren't going to do that on Batman. They were going to have. They did kill him on Batman Brave and the Bold, but they didn't do it like that. He died a hero, saving some whatever. But then in an episode later, because Blue Beetle's concerned with time travel. They had an episode where he went back to see him again because he missed him so much. Booster did. And
Booster time travel.
Yeah, Booster went back to see him, whatever they were talking about. And it's funny because you have Ted Cord. He's more like he's like a less serious Bruce Wayne. He's a millionaire who fights crime and stuff, but he's not brooding or anything.
Yep.
And I love this scene. Yeah. Oh, DC killed Blue Beetle. And like Maxwell Lord shot his head off, D-Boy. But then on Batman Brave and the Bold, since he was already dead in DC continuity at that time, they had to say he was dead, but so they just found a different way to do it. And they did like he died a hero, but it was still sad. But it wasn't as sick as the way DC did it. So Ted Cord was dead. Blue Beetle goes back to see him in this episode, goes back in time to visit him. And, Batman happens to be there. And there's this scene where he tells Batman didn't know they were friends in this reality, right? In this time.
He didn't realize it.
So he goes, so you know Blue Beetle? How do you? Oh yeah, we're basically. And he goes, yeah, Blue Beetle didn't. He goes, you hang out with Batman? And it turned out that Blue Beetle was keeping it from Batman because he didn't want to know that he hangs out with Booster for fun and he hangs out with Batman for business. Because Batman basically he was basically trying not to say, I hang out with you, Batman, because you're. Because we get the job done, but I hang out with him because he's my friend. We have fun.
Yeah. Right.
And that episode was called Menace of the Madniks. It was so touching and sad because Blue Beetle had known, he was really sad about, Booster knew he was dead and he was sad. But anyway, and so he went back to have just one more adventure for him with him because he didn't mean to. I forget, it's hard to explain. He was trying to catch these villains that Blue Beetle never had caught before. So he wanted to give him a chance for closure. So he took him into the future to help catch him. And Batman was pissed off at him. That was a great episode. I mean, it was so touching because that was his buddy. He just got to spend a little bit more time with him.
Well, God, if you could time travel, I mean, yeah, that's and that's why you like these comics too, because then it reminds you, like as a kid, you imagine with your best bud, you're Batman and Robin, you'd fight about who would be Batman, right? No one wanted to be Robin.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or,
exactly.
Superman and Batman, or you'd have you'd team up, and then you'd pretend you're best buds too. So it's as a little kid, it was always fun to. That's why the dark and depressing comics are just so, this hyper realistic. It's one thing, like I said, the Fantastic Four to have a family dynamic there, but then today everything, thanks to the millerization of everything, it's just so damn depressing to read. Yep. So it's so refreshing to read, like those Spidey comics, or I always talk about how I love Spider Girl, because it was like it's a retro comic. It's going back to like a simpler time when you could have friends and it was more black and white.
Yeah,
and just much more enjoyable. So
I love when in this episode, by the way, when Ted Cord tells Batman, well, you're my work friend and you like fight crime and stuff, and he's my fun friend. Basically, I have to admit he's my fun friend. And he goes, and Batman said, what could be more fun than fighting crime? I love it. Matthew Powder, good to see you. Oh God, that truly is funny. For that cartoon, it was for younger viewers. They had some sad and they had some dark episodes of that freaking cartoon too. The Doom Patrol one is wonderful, but it's brutal. Let's see, another great friendship though. is, of course, Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
Yep.
Ollie and Hal are best. I always thought Hal and Barry were good buddies too, but Ollie and Hal, they shared a
something
comic.
Special. Yep.
Yeah, and they were just a great couple of pals. And even though they fought like cats and dogs. And they had very different ones. One was as we would call him today, hippie.
Yeah.
Ollie was a hippie, and Hal was a straight laced.
60s,
yeah. But it's a great. I mean, again, like I said, there are a lot of other friendships, and for example, Hal and Barry are good friends. Ollie and Hal and let's see, I'm trying to think. Batman doesn't have any friends with Superman, though. I mean, he's friends with the Justice League, but he was always adversarial with Hal and some of the other guys. He was friends with all of them.
He takes his ring away, doesn't he? Take his ring away.
Oh yeah.
At one point,
but even in lesser, right? But even in lesser harsh versions of Batman, his best buddy is Superman. But in this case, it was. I mean, here you had the test pilot. He was more straight-laced conservative, and you had the. I would never. I don't like hippies, but I love Harley Quinn for some reason. I mean, he is a hippie. He's
the billionaire hippie.
He's a liberal, yes, Matthew Pounder, but he's like the classical liberal, at least. I'll give him that. And he's he's just a fun character, and they were always fun-loving characters together, I thought, and yeah.
Well, because then you get both sides too, which is fun, and then you see that point of view, and that's his character, right? So he's true to that point of view. I mean, like, we don't want to talk about the filth, but they had, when I avoid politics, but like they had Stacey Abrams on one of the episodes. It just, so it just, it's like a statement right there. So, but Ollie, you always knew where his politics were from, and you respected him, and that was his character, right? It wasn't, it wasn't some stunner for virtue signaling or. No. They were confronting some serious, social issues. That the famous issue with Speedy and drug use and things like that. So, it's not to say you can't be dark or serious in these comics too, but that's why they hit home even more too when they're well-written characters and you think of them as real people. Right after a while, you start turning the pages. They come to life to you, and then when the writers do something that violates that the character tenets or does something that's not typical of the character, that's when that's when people get angry, or they say, hey, this is something that Batman wouldn't say or Ollie wouldn't say or do. So, but that's
yep. I love him though. I tell you, one of the most fun characterizations of Harley Quinn I've ever seen was on the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, the first one he popped up on, and he was really well handled on there. He was just such a fun character. He didn't want to join the Justice League, but he got, I think Batman used to trick him into it a lot of times. He used to talk him into it. He was friends with Batman, but he was adversarial with him as well. But yeah, it was just he had a lot of great episodes on that show.
I got to rewatch that. Yep, I'm trying to finish Blake Sevens first, but
oh, cool. That's we're watching been watching UFO. That doesn't last long.
That's an old classic. It was 26 episodes of that, I think, right?
Only 26 episodes. It's fun. I don't think I know I've watched a couple here and there. I think a long time ago, but I didn't remember much about it. So it's like it's brand new to me, pretty much. So
yeah, I've enjoying watched a few too. I have a buddy who's a British TV connoisseur, so he's got the collection of everything, of all the Thunderbirds, all the. Is it Jerry Anderson or Gary Anderson?
Jerry Anderson.
Jerry, right? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's Jerry.
Jerry, right? Yeah, because our friend from Pop Culture Minefield.
Yeah, he's Gary.
He's Gary, but spelled Jerry.
He spells it with like Jerry, but he's Gary.
Yeah,
and we let it.
He's Gary,
and we love you, Gary. So we let you slide on that one, dude.
Yeah.
Not that he's mentioning at the moment. Hey, Pop Culture Republic, good to see you there.
Hey.
All right, J-Man, take it easy, bro.
Take care, J-Man. Go buddy. Watch. Or he finished Blake 7, right? Didn't he?
He finished Blake 7. We're gonna be talking some Blake 7 soon, buddy.
I'm getting there.
Can't wait,
on the third season of episode 4. Yep.
It's only Mark. Don't worry.
I ran out of downloads on the plane. I downloaded all of the episodes, and then I downloaded Free Enterprise. I started watching it, but it only downloaded the first 40 minutes. So I was like,
oh
I
no,
want to
man.
watch more.
Damn.
I was like, you can't stop here.
That's pretty funny so far. You were
Oh,
enjoying
it's
it.
Great! Oh my god, and when he breaks up with
references?
when he breaks up his girlfriend, and she's like, what was the Requiem for what did she say? Requiem for
she said for the Martians.
For the Martians.
Requiem for Methuselah.
And then he's looking, and I'm like, it's Methuselah, and then you watch like he's paying, he's the delivery there where he doesn't want to say it, but he's got to correct her.
She says,
he knows he's going to break up with his girlfriend for it. Yeah.
She says, how can you know the name of every episode of that fucking TV show, but you can't pay a single light?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Claude's 5 years in on 5 episodes in on the on UFO. It's fun to watch something like that. But yeah, Free Enterprise, dude. How about the stuff at the beginning? When he's trying to sell the movie, the serial killer Brady Killer. That's why he only kills girls named Marsha, Jan, and Sid.
Yeah. R&B.
I love the stuff with them. R&B was great, but I love how the stuff with them as kids. The flashback to them as when he was staying outside to Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and she wouldn't let him in. What do you mean? This is my movie, The Human Adventure. It's just beginning.
Yeah, but I've never heard of that. He's like, it's a G movie. You have to let me in.
It was G rated, but no, it was rated G. They had G movies. They did have G movies.
Yeah, it was rated G. Yeah.
There's a good friendship thing right there.
And the big news is Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the director's cut, which I love that. I love that movie to begin with, but then the director's cut, I think, is where it's at, and 4K. That's coming out on 4K, Dolby Atmos.
It's going to on Paramount Plus.
It's going to be exclusive to Paramount Plus. There's no release date
for the video
on the Blu-ray. Too bad you're not closer. You could, I'd invite everyone over because I have a pretty decent setup. We could crank that, or I'd set up my. It's getting warmer here. I'd set up my projector in the backyard.
Wow!
Watch that outside. That would be fun.
That's so cool.
Maybe I'll do that on the big screen.
Do it, man. I wouldn't mind you. I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to that. So, and I think the speculation is, December. Hopefully, they'll have hard. The discs will be out because I think it was December 6th was the anniversary of the movie coming out. So, hopefully, we'll be getting that. But if you're a Paramount Plus subscriber, you'll be able to watch it. The 4K version. Well, I think they've had a 4K version, but not the director's cut. So, because they've done,
not the director's cut. That's right. It's all 4K, but not director's cut.
Yeah, so Robert Wise had gone back and added some scenes, especially the scene where Spock is on Vulcan, and they've added, temples.
I have the director's cut, just the DVD. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have too. But it's the original effects that they added to the movie was, when CGI was pretty primitive, so they did the effects obviously in SD or DVD format, so it's 480p. So when they want to do 4K, they could do the film. It's fine. They've got that. They just scan the film. Film was, high res, and but they had to redo all the special effects, and now they did Atmos. So yeah, we're all looking forward to that. Yep.
Pop Culture Republic. That was a great episode, and I remember that part where Gene Guerrero said he fights a little guy, then Batman says the monsters they fight sometimes step on the little guy. That was great. So, and but yes, so GLGA. That's a great one. I mean, that's a great friendship that I always loved. And even though, like I say, some friend, let's see, I'm trying to think who would be. I mean, do you have a favorite one? Because my favorite, obviously, it's easy to say Batman and Superman. Yeah. That's my favorite, probably. But I love Johnny and Spidey too. It's probably the one I enjoy the most.
Yeah,
actually.
Spidey and Johnny,
Spidey and Torch,
and Ben and Torch. I guess are more family, like they were saying.
Yeah, like I was saying, they're more like.
But that's
brothers.
A great, rivalry.
Ben and Reed are great friends, but they don't do much as far as what a lot of my criteria here is.
Sue
these guys
ruined
actually,
it by getting when they got married. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but not only that, that of course. But I mean, as far as they've had comics where they've been buddied around together in comics a lot. I mean. Yeah, they've been in the same comic, in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, but not like an adventure, right?
Right. Whereas Human Torch and Spidey, they developed a relationship over the longest period of time, just as Superman and Batman did. And, Wonder Man, Beast, Beetle, and Booster, and Power Man and Iron Fist, and Cap, of course, Cap and Bucky, Cap and Falcon. Those are great
Cap and Falcon, I love those. Who would you say is the Thing's best friend, though? Come to think of it, I mean, obviously
Reed's his best friend. Reed's his best friend. I mean,
but
there's
eventually,
no question about
did they ever
that.
do like a Marvel 2-in-1 with like team up with Reed?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
He did.
Right? They did a few.
Yeah, he did. Oh yeah, a couple times they did. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just saying, as far as you just know they're friends, they don't they don't necessarily always do like have a lot of adventures where it's just the two of them palling around.
Yeah,
and,
like they've had the Spidey and Torch series, or
right.
He would, and also it's different too when you pop up in someone else's book. So like Spidey would pop up in the Fantastic Four once in a while, or more often I think Johnny would pop up in Amazing.
I wish Wolverine and Puck had been friends to get all the short jokes. Yeah. Now, who's Hulk's best friend? Rick Jones, obviously.
Yeah, Rick Jones. Yep.
The Thing's sort of his friend in a sense, but they just bash each other. They beat each other. I mean, now as far as Marvel, do you think Thor and Hercules are best pals? I mean,
yes and no. I mean they hang out. They've had adventures together. But I don't think you. Yeah, I guess you could put those two together, but not that same history. I think that these, Green Arrow, Green Lantern would have. You'd have occasional team ups, but nothing where I'd say would be a standout. I'm trying to think of some other. Yeah, Wolverine and Nightcrawler. Hell Phantom. Yep. That was especially in the earlier X-Men issues. Yeah, that was a good team up. Yep, and you had the Colossus had the the fastball special, but yeah, they were Nightcrawler and Wolverine were always good buds. Yep.
Thing and Sandman had that one little get together in that issue of Marvel 2-in-1 Phantom, but I don't think they went to ball games together or anything or hung out that much. But Hulk and Cracker Jack. There was Hulk and Rick Jones and Hulk and Jim Wilson later. Thor and Iron Man were buddies, but they didn't show it much. I mean, I don't know. I always thought Thor's buddy was Hercules because they could bust each other around. They were both gods, and yet they were rivals and buddies at the same time. As far as the Marvel versions, I always thought. I mean, that's a good question, really. A lot of these guys, which great heroes don't have a best bud that's another superhero? I mean, Iron Man, Happy Hogan was his buddy for a while. Rhodes, there you go. Tony Stark and Rhodes were good buds. I mean, obviously. Yeah. So there you go. Iron Man War Machine. That's a good one.
Yeah. Happy still? What happened with Happy and Pepper in the comics?
In the comics, they got together for a while.
Did they end up getting divorced?
But Happy became big, and Happy and Pepper are only big because of the movies. They weren't really used in comics that much since the Silver Age. If they were there, don't get me wrong, you could see them once in a while, but somehow, some way, Favreau and Stark decided, and what's his name, Robert Downey Jr. and those guys, when they made the movie, they made him bigger, because they weren't in the comics that much at that point, if I remember right.
Yeah, well, we got D-Bud in the chat, so he would.
And Happy became the Freak. Yep. I mean, Happy, but I'm saying he wasn't that popular of a character or anything. I mean, you knew he was out there, but yeah. And Pepper, I mean, she was in and out of the comics as well. So
yeah, but of course, then they put Pepper in the movies. They put Pepper with Tony. So
for Tony Stark, it's Rhodes. I think pretty Rhodey.
Yeah, I would say so too. Yeah,
especially later.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The Cap again. It's always going to for Cap. It'll always be Bucky. Then after that, it'll be Sam Wilson.
Because Bucky was gone for most of the for 40 years of comics too, right?
Right.
And that's probably one of the best resurrections of character ever by Brubaker.
Brubaker, yeah.
Throw that guy a few $1 million for making Marvel some dough. I mean, what a great comic to read, and it was always the joke in the comic book store, like, oh, they keep bringing everyone back. When are they going to bring Bucky back? We joke.
And we thought they would never bring him back. We're like, maybe they're never going to bring him back. And
because Captain Marvel's really the only comic book hero, and Bucky, we joke like, who's actually stayed dead, right? The original Captain Marvel.
That was a running joke that Bucky was the only guy who stayed dead, and that didn't last too long, So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. But Marvel 2-in-1 with Sandman and Ben just talk over a drink was great. I agree that Dr. Coffin Nails. It was a good comic. Loved it. Yeah.
And Andy said, yeah, Punisher and his Sig Sauer team up. Yeah. Oh, God. That's a fun one.
Brubaker was good at some stuff. Like I say, he was pretty good. I like Winter Soldier storyline pretty well. But Bats and Soups, though. Bats and Soups.
Yep.
Are the ultimate one because they're the number 1 and number 2 guys in all of comics, and they're it. I mean, they're 1 and 2. They're the 2 greatest superheroes and the archetypes. I mean, obviously the thing's my favorite, but I still admit that these Superman and Batman are the greatest superheroes of all time. And even if they're not they don't have to be your favorite, but they're the gold standards. And have them, I've always thought it was just so cool that they're buddies. And they always should be buddies.
Yeah, when did they retcon that they were friends later on, or just kind of? I'm trying to remember the first. I was reading, obviously these comics are so old, but reading about it, didn't they? When was the first time they put them together as friends? Trying to remember
I did a show about it a couple months ago, and I did what I was basically showing is, they. Very early on, after it was World's Best Comics, and it became World's for like 1 issue or whatever.
Yeah.
Then they became World's Finest, but all for the first 70 or something issues, they were. I mean, other than a comic here and there in different series, they were not in the same stories in these comics. It was called World's Finest. It had Superman and Batman in there and Robin in there, but their stories were separate. They weren't team up stories.
Okay.
Superman 76 was like, you go D-Bud. Like I said, I did this on the show recently. Was as D-Bud points out, was the first time they met and found each other's identities and stuff. But it was
so I thought it was later, right? Yeah, where they kind of not a retcon, but they just kind of.
It was way into the but it was
into the runs, right?
It was way into the World's Finest runs before it started being a comic book where they were teaming up together, where they were hanging out together, where they were having adventures together inside the comic.
Yep.
Instead of just being a comic that had individual stories with them. So it was like 1952 or something before that started happening, I believe. And then it went for a long time. I love this one here when it went to the dollar size comic. It had all those backups.
Oh, dollar comics. Those were great.
I love those old dollar comics.
80 pages, yeah. I wish I had more of those as a kid, but every time Grandpa would bring me one, I'm like, get me one of those. He's like, they're expensive. They're $1.
Whole dollar.
It's old dollar.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But Grandpa, you get 80 pages.
But to me, it was natural. They were the best, and they were the best. They were best friends, and but it should be. Yeah. Phantom Outsider says, "Hey, Michael O'Brien was Tony Stark's best friend. He made him armor and everything. Sure, the armor made the guy crazy and basically killed him, but that's true friendship, lol."
Oops.
Yeah, Superman family. Well, wasn't that like a combination or culmination of them didn't they put like Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen numbering together and make Superman family, Dr. Coffin Nails? I believe they did. If I'm remembering right. Program. Because it didn't, it was Superman family was in the 70s. It was they combined, it had a lot of high issue number, and there weren't that many Superman family comics. They used to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they did weird stuff where they changed the name of the title, but keep the number.
There you go. They combined Jimmy Olsen. I think they combined Jimmy Olsen's numbering with Lois Lane's numbering, maybe. I can't, or they did something. They took up a numbering of another book, whatever it was. I could be totally getting that backwards because I have the garbage memory. All I knew is one day I see back then I see Superman and Family, and it says 200 something or whatever, didn't it? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Is that many of that issue? What is this comic? But yeah.
Were there always 100 pages to the Superman Family? Or
they had a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah, so here we go. So it was series continued. Of course, you were right. I'm just skimming this. I'm reading. Series continued from Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, reprints from Action 339. Okay, so so they took the numbering from Olsen. So 164 is the first comic of the Superman family.
From Olsen, okay. I knew it was one of those two titles.
Olsen, yep. So they took it from Olsen. So 164 is the first one.
So they didn't combine them then.
Okay. Nick Carty, cover artist. Yep. So they didn't. They just changed the title name. I guess.
I thought it was either a combo one or they just. I don't know. It was one.
Yeah, and it went to issue 222. Yep, and they all were dollar comics. It looks like.
So they didn't do a lot of them then. Jimmy Olsen. I don't know why I thought it was low. I always got the two because they just canceled Lois Lane and they kept Jimmy Olsen to change the title. They should have whatever. But
that's stupid stuff. Yeah.
Well, they
got Jimmy Olsen on the cover. Yep.
Well,
Jimmy Olsen. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say they said Jimmy Olsen presents the Superman family on the cover. The first few.
I like that they see that was when the numbering meant something.
Yeah.
So much so that they would change the title and not put the number, make it a number one. Whereas now, every time anything gets canceled, or a hiatus, or sometimes they just think the sales are low, they just cancel it and start a number one again. That's why there are 15 billion number ones of every damn title, which sucks.
Yeah, like I was Marvel Comics a few months ago. I was reading a trade, and they're like, "And we've got 5 new number ones for you this month, collectors." It's like. It's like, come on.
It's really ridiculous. But yeah,
let's see when they end. Let me check Lois Lane now here too to see what.
Lois Lane died in the comic died somewhere in the early 70s. Hey, there's Composite Superman. There you go. Also. Phantom Outsider, I saw you said something earlier, and I concur. Superboy and Monel was a pretty good friendship. Obviously, they thought they were like brothers. Who are some of the other ones? As far as, again, when I made, since they're obviously a lot of friends in comics, I wanted this to be something where these were characters that they weren't just friends. They shared either titles together or a lot, or they were just notable. For example, like I said, although Wonder Man and Beast didn't have a title together, that was a standout friendship that inspired the Booster and Beetle friendship. Technically, of course, Alan Scott and Jay Garrick didn't have a title together or anything, but they were two best buds. They were in Justice Society. But for the most part, these are characters that had titles together. Spidey and Torch sharing title with Marvel 2-in-1 and so on, and those other series. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Captain America and the Falcon, Captain Bucky, Power Man and Iron Fist. So those are friendships that actually had they had titles together. But there are other characters that definitely were best friends that had, like for example, name the character who was their best friend. And they don't have to be superheroes necessarily, but those are the ones that were all superheroes. For example, who is let's see. Who is? We know who Ben and Reed's best friends are. They're each other.
Like Rick Jones and
Rick Jones
were buddies for a while too.
And Rick Jones and Marvel.
And Marvel, yep. And then his son Mcginnis Marvel too, right? Because then he was merged with the Negabands that was a Peter David storyline where. He would put the bands together and they'd switch realities. That was a cool series. Yep.
Superboy and Monel were very close. He thought he was his brother when he first met him, as you know, Phantom Outsider. And of course, Superman and Pete, Clark Kent and Pete Ross were close. But obviously in the Superboy persona, it was Monel. Hey, Monkey G-Bus, what's up,
Monkey? Oh, and I just looked up Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. And of course, you were right again, too.
What happened?
Series combines with Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, and Supergirl and continues as Superman family. So it was combined, but they took Olsen and hired more numbers. So they took Olsen because then on some of the issues it said Lois Lane presents the Superman family, which is kind of a weird way to do it.
So they did combine them. I wasn't misremembering it.
You were obviously.
You almost had me convinced I was misremembering it, dude.
I was just, I'm just reading the database here. So. Yeah, that's an amazing memory on your part. So, but they did take 137 was the last issue of Lois Lane in 1974. So I guess that month, and they went to, it's a weird way of saying it, but they combined it with the Superman family. So,
okie dokie. There you go. I thought it was, and I was almost convinced I'd misremembered it. Oh well. Dude, I have a fragile memory, and you can't mess with me like that because I'll go.
Sorry.
You could tell me, you know what? Your name is George, and I go, look, I'm pretty sure my name ain't George, and you go, are you sure? Then I'll go, oh, maybe it is. Now that you shouldn't have said that. What do you mean? That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You cast a doubt to me now, and I'm not going to be confident anymore about my memory. I'm going to go, I thought I knew that. You could say, like, the thing's name is Ben Grimm. Well, of course it is. I've known that all my. Actually, it's not, though. Really?
It's Benjamin J. Grimm.
And, yeah, but no, I'm not. Okay. All right. Yeah. Benjamin J. Grimm. You could say that. Benjamin Jacob Grimm. And you can say, actually, no, it's Benjamin Jordan Grimm. And I'm going to go, I know for a fact it isn't, don't get me wrong. But it wouldn't, I'm just using this as an example. That's such an obvious thing. However, my example is I'm just using that as a broad example. You could throw that at me, and I might be likely at somebody go, are you sure? Now I have to go look it up and be sure, because now you've cast a goddamn doubt. It's so easy.
Well, I misremember things all the time.
Well, Dr. Coffin-Nails, I was just using that as an example of how bad my memory is. Even I remember that.
But your memory is better than you think, so.
But I'm just saying the tiniest doubt gets me.
Get you going. Yeah. Don't doubt me.
Oh, Clobby Mark D. I'm used to the team up duo of Connor Kent, Superboy, and Robin Tim Gray.
Yep.
Yet I have mixed feelings for Superboy John Kent and Robin Damian Williams team up. Well, that's all very too modern for me. I'm old, as you know, Oliver. I hate anything, and nobody's ever going to be Superboy but the one that I love, who was Kal-El. I hate Connor Kent personally. No offense to you. I don't mind Timmy Drake too much, but I hate Connor Kent because he's not Superboy to me. I hate now many very good friends, including ones that are older than me, by the way, before they ruined the Super Sons, have been big fans of the John Kent and Robin Damian Wayne stuff when it was under Peter Tomasi. That
couple years ago, right? Like 3 or 4 years ago.
Not me, but many people that
I was reading that when it first came out. Yep.
Well, many people that I respect like that series a lot, Oliver. So I'm not downing it, but it just wasn't for me. I mean,
But now they aged up John. They aged up Jonathan Kent now. So, and now he's taking over Superman. We won't get into that whole mess, but they aged up the characters. So you can't have that. You won't have the same kind of team up anymore. But I loved the character Tim Drake when he was first introduced too. I thought that was a really, really great introduction to that character. And then he teamed up with Spoiler all the time, so that was a great. I think they were in a relationship too. So, but I don't know if you would count that, but that was a fun team up for a while too.
Well, Phantom Outsider brings up something that I really wanted to bring up. So, and again, with my memory, I probably would have forgot. So I'm glad you did, Phantom. This is one no one really thinks about or not, but the Daredevil Spidey relationship is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's when they get together, Daredevil's like is Bugs Bunny and Spidey's Daffy Duck. He always ends up, Spider-Man always ends up getting the short end of the stick, and Daredevil always ends up showing him up. Yet they're friends, but they always have that book I told you about, that short run of Daredevil by Carl Kessel and Carrie Nord. They went into that a little bit. They did an issue where the two of them are together, and they made fun, and they kind of had a lot of fun with it. How the two of them, it was not quite Torch Spidey banter, but
No, that's a good good point there. Yeah, that was always like those two. They were always able to beat Stiltman in the end, right?
Yeah. Damian and John were good as kids, but since crap writer Bendass can't write kids, they grew them up and ruined it. Yeah, because that's the Tomasi run that Claude's talking about. Yeah, I mean, again, I just can't. A lot of people, including Claude and others, said that Super Sons run by Tomasi was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
And so I totally believe you. I look at that art, my eyes bleed out, and I can't really get. I hate Damian, and I get that it's good, but still, I have no animosity for those who like it. Or just personally, I don't know if I could ever touch it.
Well, I don't like Damian personally either, but the way they wrote those two together was well done, and I think that's one of then of course they had the idea, let's make Jonathan Kent Superman now. So for other reasons. Well, but
they threw that all in the crapper, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like, come on, what are you doing? Leave those two as young heroes, and all those stories you could tell. But nope, they aged him up. Of course, they could de-age him too. Because Franklin Richards would change his age all the time too, right?
Yeah. Oh, he could. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Knowing next to nothing about some of these characters, was Terry McGinnis in the comics, or was he strictly? But he was created for the Batman Beyond TV show.
Yep.
Pop culture, but he's been in comics after that. They put him in. Subsequently, they've had him in various comic books, and they still do that. But eventually, he was created for and initially appeared in the Batman Beyond, sir.
Yep, I had a buddy who's a lawyer, and he was actually representing someone who was trying to sue DC over stealing his idea for
Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond, and he had all these sketches and drawings, and he lost the case, obviously. But then my buddy gave me all this Batman stuff. That's why I have that Batman George Clooney and all these Batman posters. He was collecting all this Batman stuff for the case. So he's like, Mark, we lost, but here's that's you fight.
They gave
DC.
you George Clooney posters. Ugh.
Well, I have that George Clooney. That's my excuse for having the George Clooney 12-inch Batman figure that I was showing last week because he gave it to me. I didn't buy it, just so you know.
At least you have an excuse.
That's my excuse. Yeah.
Oh my God! Well, at least you have a good excuse because you need an excuse for having.
I need an excuse for that one. And but the guy had some sketches that looked pretty close to Batman Beyond, but proving it's another things. And the idea and the concept. I do like that concept. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, when Batman Beyond was first announced, I was the only one that wasn't turning backflips. I didn't really care. It was not my particular bag. I didn't really care. I was not one who read any of those Marvel books, Marvel 2099, any of those kind of stuff. I never cared about any of those.
Yep.
And this looked like it was that. And I had no interest. So I didn't watch it when it came on. A lot of people liked it again, whatever. Then about a few years, I don't know, maybe good number of years ago now, after I think I saw that Justice League episode that kind of dealt with it, I was needing something to watch. I was at the store at like a Best Buy or whatever at one point. It was like $10 for the first season. So I picked it up and I liked it. It was good. I like the show now. To me, I like the animated series better. I prefer my Batman then. Again, Terry McGinnis, I always never really could get used to his look that much, but the old Bruce Wayne stuff in it is great.
Yeah, he's great in that. Yeah. And that's, but if you're going to picture a superhero getting old, like a Batman, he's going to want to pass on his legacy, right? So, and if, there's no Robin around or Dick Grayson, yeah. But, it was Ambush Bug, yeah. Or Batman and Batmite, as Phantom says, yeah. So Batmite does exist in the Peacemaker universe, right? So
no, I don't think so. But yes. Hey, look at there. This 6, the lovely 6.
Hey, 6.
I'm at work, but taking my lunch break in about 4 hours. So if you guys could still be going, you got it, everyone. I am forthwith extending the time of this podcast, the YouTube video streaming server thingy. So 4 hours. 4 hours, indeed, 6.
Well, we'll just take a break. We'll take a short. We'll be back after a brief hiatus, and
yes,
we'll be sorry, I didn't. And we'll be back in 4 hours. Yep. You're not gonna kick me now, are you?
I was gonna play. I was almost played the clip though.
Almost played the clip.
Yeah. But well, I hope you're having a wonderful night. 6, and whatever you're doing there, whatever work you're doing there, have fun. I don't know if it's possible to have fun at work, but you know what I mean. So have a wonderful night, and may the time pass for you.
Yeah, 6 are you in the Pacific time zone? I'm guessing then, or
yes, we don't. I think she may be in. I don't know which time zone 6 is in, but I think she works late though, in the late hours.
Okay. Yep. So I'm saying it's 4 hours to have lunch. That's a tough one. Yeah. Of course, I'm eating all the time, so there's always a lunch break for me, unfortunately.
I had canes tonight, so I had
which is chicken.
Canes.
Chicken, if for us Northerners who don't have Raising Canes.
Oh yeah, but for those who don't know, Raising Canes, I had me some Raising Canes tonight. Well, tomorrow's my son's birthday, Shatner's Day. Nice. Shatner's birthday, and I'm gonna take him. I guess we're gonna go to my mom's. She's making something over there. But although we're expecting some bad weather tomorrow, so I don't know. Yep. But so I thought I would get him something tonight, and I brought him to get him some canes. I would have got him whatever, but no. Yeah, he didn't care. So
now you're making me hungry.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it's always.
I've never had it. I drove by it a couple times and get a chance to go. So
canes is always like. You eat it once if you've eaten it, if you know it. I guess I don't know how it is if you've never had it. Once you first get it, you might think it's fantastic, or might not care. Yeah. But if you're someone who has eaten it for a regular basis, then you go months without it. You see it, you'll think, man, I want me some canes. I got to get me some canes. So you go get you some canes. Then you're like, I don't know, whatever. Sometimes, and then like maybe a couple months again before you go, I think I really want me some canes. And when after you get done with it, it's all right for doesn't, and it's not cheap, but it doesn't seem like a lot. Like you get a lot of it, but you do, I guess. I mean, you get the 6 fingers on the big one, the 6 chicken tenders, and a bunch of fries, and you have to now. If you're any kind of a normal human being, you don't take the coleslaw. Ugh. You get an extra piece of
vegetables,
extra piece of toast to replace the coleslaw. Is what a lot of people do. And you get a little extra cane sauce too. Because you got to have enough. You can't have too much cane sauce.
Is it a white sauce or is it a barbecue sauce? Or
no, it's a kind of it looks the same color like a Thousand Island dressing, but it's such a secret sauce. They keep the recipe in safes and stuff. No one knows it. No one can duplicate it. Cane sauce is copyrighted. It is top secret, and nobody has it. There are others that look similar. I've tasted others. Oh, it's the best thing because you take that piece of toast they give you and you put some of that sauce on there and you wrap it around the chicken finger.
Makes a sandwich.
Yeah, a little bitty mini sandwich thing until you run out. But wow, that sauce! It's good stuff.
Yeah, we have a good chicken nuggets up here. Garden Catering is a chain of, but it's all fresh chicken, so it's all.
Well, they're probably better than this. They're probably better. I mean, they're probably way better, but still, Cane's does well.
Yeah,
cane sauce. It's cane sauce for a reason. That's right.
Clobberin time, sponsored by Canes tonight.
Yes, they need the business. I hope that helped them. I'm surprised they're not up your way. They're all over the country now. I mean,
no, because I was going through. Where the heck was I? Was in Texas when I saw them.
They're in Texas a good bit.
Yeah, and I'm like, I got to stop in Canes because Clobberin time was talking about there. Didn't get a chance, but the
very first one
to go. Fun to try new places. Yeah,
the very first one's here in Baton Rouge. That's where it started. One little bitty place. It's a little bitty place. But Power Man and Iron Fist were always cool together because again, it was kind of an unlikely pairing. But that was a series. I don't know. Did anyone else here? I know Steve was a big Power Man and Iron Fist fan, but like we were talking about earlier, that would have been great. It would have been great if they made those Netflix shows with the two of them concentrated on them a few times here together. Even in that subpar Defenders show. My favorite.
That was great when they first got together. I almost teared up. Even though it's not the real Defenders, but I'm like, this is so cool to see. The 4 here. We got that in Avengers, but to see that together on TV.
My favorite thing was seeing those two meet, though.
No, that was great stuff. Yeah, that was the best episode, and I did like like you were saying, you liked Iron Man. The actor was great, and I think the series just drag on too long. I think yeah. Well, Iron Man, not Iron Man. Luke Cage, Power Man. I'm getting my brain's getting scrambled here. But the actor who did played Luke Cage was good.
Yeah,
the series was too long. Yeah. It was too long. It was too dragged out. And I'm so mad because Netflix. I had my Daredevil as my icon when I log on to Netflix, and then now they lost the show, so they pulled the icon. I lost my Daredevil icon. Damn them!
I never could figure out how to do an icon on there. And now they've lost it. Now they put it on. They put it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I guess they have Disney Plus as like an age restriction now. They added finally.
Yeah. See, I don't. I don't subscribe to that drivel. I have my daughter's code, so if I want to watch stuff on there, and when I went on to watch something the other day, it gave me an opportunity to change to the idea to be able to watch that. And I don't, since I don't have those, I don't know the codes. I don't know them off the top of my head. I couldn't. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to watch those. I want to get Daredevil on physical, so I don't have to. And just to hell with that. Watching it on there.
Buy it while you can, right?
I got to get the Blu-rays of the Daredevil. They didn't do 3 yet, but season 3 yet, which was not that great anyway, but still would get it if they put it out.
But it's it's
edited. It's edited on Disney. There's a shocker.
Yeah.
So to screw them.
That's why you got to get the hard copy, and then who knows what the rights are for the DVDs. Yeah. So
the only ones worth having are Daredevil. It's the only one worth having. The other ones are crap. I sat through every one of those.
The Colleen Wing show was pretty good. The second season, I thought.
Oh, so bad.
She was cute. I liked her.
Yeah, she's cute, but the show was terrible.
Yeah,
and first season was terrible too. The second season, oh my god, man! By the way, did anyone see that trailer? Yes, we're kind of open talk now. By the way, folks, we talked about the Frenches. We can still do that, but anyone see the little teaser trailer they released today for Moon Knight?
I missed that. Look any good?
Oh
God! I'll watch it right now on my other tab.
Dumb asses. Now, you guys call me old fashioned if you want, but when you show a little teaser trailer, you're supposed to try to get people interested. This looks like it's going to be the same old MCU crap, where of course Moon Knight's a dumbass and a punk, and we don't even get to see the costume. We just get to see some chick leading him around by the nose and kicking ass. Captain James T. Skywalker, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Captain.
Yeah.
So that first look at our this is the first trailer or the second trailer?
It's one that dropped today that has nothing to do with Moon Knight. There's Mark Spector being a pussweed and Ethan Hawke there for a second, and some woman is trying to get him out of there to save him because he's a damsel in distress or whatever. JD Lewis, good to see you. And she's, of course, kicking ass all over the place, and he's a wimp face.
Is she a superhero or?
No. Shit, no. She's just an MCU character woman, so it means she can automatically kick ass of guys 3 times her size with no problem. And she basically is leading him all over the place because he's a dumbass, and and then it ends. We don't get to see Moon Knight.
Well, this one I'm seeing a lot of Moon Knight.
You're probably looking at an old trailer. This is one that dropped today. It was like a minute something, minute 40 or whatever, and it's a scene. Like it's really a scene, not a trailer.
Okay, this is I'm watching a trailer, but it's showing actually a little bit more of the action of him as Moon Knight.
Right,
it's only 6 episodes.
This is a scene, though.
Okay, I'm just seeing these highlights here.
If you think that's bad, did you see the trailer for new Miss Marvel? Yeah, Disney minus. No interest in that there. D-Bud says, I saw Az's video also, D-Bud. He said it's a bait and switch. I watched this video today, and I agree with him. It is a bait and switch. Well, it's probably a bait and switch. I mean, obviously, he will be Moon Knight on the show, probably by the 5th episode or the 4th.
There's only six episodes, so
only 6. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Now, are we going to get like 5 episodes of Moon Knight? I'm a big wussy. And then the last one, he will like kick ass for like 3 minutes, and then the girl will do all the ass kicking in the meantime. I'm ready for Moon Knight to suck, but I want it to be good. I do too. I would like to see it be good.
And then the other thing that was controversy was Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. The new series, they changed her powers, and people were mad because they said, "Well, just change Reed Richards' powers." So I guess she's not even going to have the stretchy powers on the Marvel show.
She's got basically Quasar's powers.
That's so ridiculous. I could see where the Ms. Marvel fans would be pissed off. It's like you can have 2 people with stretchy powers, right? And her powers are a little bit different than Reed's anyway. So, and I guess her powers were actually killing her for a while too. Not to get into the minutia of comics, but
I don't read. I've not read one comic book with her in it.
Yeah,
I've never read a comic book with Kamala Khan, and never had any interest in it at all. I mean, not that fine if you want to create a character. Again, I personally don't care much for the idea of creating a character just for an agenda, which is what she was created for. But if people like her and all that stuff would be fine. I don't care. It just doesn't interest me. And she was created for, again, she was not created for any other reason but for that agenda to fill out to check a box, as it were. And that just personally for me is not interesting. And I don't care for it. So, when all of my favorite characters, and I dare say yours, were created, they were created by the creators because they wanted to they wanted to make up an interesting character that people would like and want to read about. That's it. That's the right reason.
And as a family, they wanted to, they wanted to show a real family, right?
Well, they wanted to, whether it's Superman, Spiderman, or the Hulk, or whomever. The point is, their creator created him to create an interesting character that people would want to read about. That's it.
Yeah.
No agenda behind it. I mean, yes, they wanted to tell certain types of stories. Okay, sure. And but it wasn't the same as ticking a box. It's just not.
No, they just said, let's create semi-real, realistic characters for the first time in a comic, and have that family dynamic there. But
so she was not created for the same reason Spider-Man was created.
Yeah.
Or Superman or anybody. So she's not not particularly legitimate character. She's not in any way interesting to me. But in that show, let's be fair, it looks like CW drivel. It's not. I'm going to have to quote our favorite person, Brie Larson, and I'm actually going to mean it too. I'm not even going to make fun of her. It was not made for you. Well, hey, Keely Chow, roll tide. You know what, Brie?
Hey,
Brie, when it comes to the Miss Marvel show, you're exactly right. It was not made for me. In fact, nothing Marvel does. Looks like Moonlight was not made for me either. If it's going to be, look, they've not made a good show yet, as far as I'm concerned. Disney minus has not made a good show yet. Let's see, starting with WandaVision, it started out kind of okay, and then
it went off the rails.
Turned into
some
shite.
People say COVID killed that, messed that show up, but to give them a pass. But in terms of the production, and they said the first few episodes they were all working together, and then with COVID it messed up their plans.
No,
but
I don't agree.
They still screwed up.
It's the shitty story at the end where they turn Wanda basically into a supervillain, and she's terrible, and then they excuse it. The show sucks.
Yeah. But I'm saying they allegedly, I read some things where they changed their plans due to COVID, and because of trying to get the the filming of the the production was so difficult. But that's me being a nice guy, but it did end up as a train wreck. And Wanda should have been taken away to jail.
Wanda should have been Supermax. I don't even know what that means, the COVID thing, because it makes there's no excuse for them. How would that affect the script? So then Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier was a piece of dog crap that I hated even more personally. It's just me. It had
a couple of good elements, but then that speech by Falcon in the end, the Do Better speech, just killed me to see that speech. Yeah.
So that's two that I hate. What was next? Loki?
Well, you had Loki, yeah.
Loki was terrible.
The alligator Loki was the highlight of the series. But one good episode.
If I have to cherry pick like a scene here and there that is okay, I'm still going to call the whole show a piece of shit. Even if I go, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, we find out that Kang's responsible for everything.
The Kang was horrible in that show. Oh my god, that was.
He'll get worse too. I couldn't even finish What If.
It had potential. It's some potentials, and
I don't think so. They had no potential. Well, I don't know. Trying to be.
Well, no, good writers. Loki and.
In that case, everything has potential, but except for
All
right, that's three. I couldn't even get through all of What If. It sucked so bad. I mean, the first couple of one, I thought the first one was at least okay, even though it had some silly shit in it. The Star-Lord one was probably the Black Panther Star one was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And after
the zombie one was worse, but you didn't see.
I won't get to that one. You stopped me. You saved me from that.
You tagged out in the end. You were smart.
I watched the Doctor Strange one. I said I've had enough, and then you told me the next one was Marvel Zombies. I hate Marvel Zombies anyway. I was out, so I did. That's the only of these shows I did.
They didn't even do the Marvel Zombies justice. I mean, the first few Marvel Zombies comics were really great. And they've got Peter Parker telling jokes. It's like Peter Parker's not telling jokes when people are getting eaten and ripped up and his buddies are getting killed. I mean, that was a criticism of the first Spider-Man movie. It wasn't telling jokes, but Parker's not going to be telling jokes when the world has turned to zombies, and the story was just ridiculous. It was horrible. and I like those first few zombie comics. They were, then they went, of course, they ruined a good thing by overdoing it.
I hate them.
So the only thing that the series actually, what if the ending, the last couple episodes, were a little bit better in terms of, and I know you didn't watch them, but
no,
in terms of being an Ultron that's going to take over the universe, and he's finding all, going through the multiverse, but really wasn't a what if story. It would have been more of, like just a Marvel story, and that was okay, but that was a miss too, because there's so many classic what if stories. Like, just give us, what if Spider-Man had joined the Fantastic Four?
They were doing MCU.
Yeah,
Marvel.
I know, but that's
it wasn't real Marvel Universe.
Yeah, and then the Peggy Carter one was all right. It wasn't. It was okay. It wasn't any. But I don't mind that kind of stuff where the attack. Something goes wrong and Peggy Carter becomes a version of Cap. But it's not anything tragic. Like, one of my favorite ones, what ifs, is what if all the FF all had the same powers, and that was the tragic one where Sue basically becomes like a Swamp Thing type character. There's some you can have some fun with what if, and also some tragedies. But yeah, we both agree that series was a mess.
Okay,
too.
That's 4. Now that you've tried to defend 4, they're all still.
I got to give the the other point of view, but
you could listen. I'm trying to think who would I call.
Would I watch it again? No, I wouldn't go to my way to watch it again.
Yeah, you could be. I'm trying to think who to equate you with when you do that. Mr. Conciliatory. Yes, Mr. But anyway, all right, 4, and I'm sorry, I hate them all. 5 was Hawkeye next.
Yeah, Hawkeye. Oh.
That was a piece of crap.
Just read the original comics they're based on. Yep.
Go ahead and defend that one now.
Well, you had one good episode. You had the car chase episode with the arrows, and they finally got to use the smart arrows. But then you get Hawkeye in the end. They can never, stick the landing on these things. You get Hawkeye who can jump off of buildings, shoot an arrow out and, make it from 20 stories up.
But he
falls into the Rockefeller Christmas tree and he can't get out of it. He's stuck in there. and then Kate Bishop takes down the tree. And then you've got I'm from the New York area, so you can't get anywhere near that goddamn tree. I mean, with a car or vans or anything, they've got unfortunately what's happened in the world, they've got everything barricaded off. They've actually got dump trucks filled with sand blocking everything,
right?
So to have of course you got to suspend disbelief. All right, it's a guy dressed in a purple costume, and his costume sucked too in the end. They didn't do a good Hawkeye costume. So anyway,
I like the actor, but he's not Hawkeye. I mean, he's just,
So they some good elements again, and I do like the Kate Bishop character when she's not written as an itch, but it could be a fun team up, but it's, and then
I like the chick
stuff with Wilson Fisk. Yeah,
he looked great as Kingpin.
Yeah,
his performance was fine, but he was a wuss wad, and he was not. Yeah, and Echo's staggeringly uninteresting. There's nothing. I mean, it was okay. That's 5. Garbage, in my opinion.
Yeah,
5.
They changed it so it wasn't Kingpin that killed their father. It was Hawkeye that killed their father. It's like, why did you do that? That's integral to the character. So and they kind of twisted around. All right. We agree that one wasn't good either.
So here we are, folks. We're 0-5. This is Disney TV, or people, we say TV, it's an app, but okay, it's not even a real TV channel, but we'll say TV show.
Yeah, it's a channel now.
TV show for sake of argument, but whatever. Okay, their season has started. They've lost 5 games, and they're pretty much almost out of the playoffs, folks. They're coming up next with a Poon Night. It ain't looking good. I don't think they're going to the playoffs, folks, because that's probably going to be another disappointment. I will watch it.
Oscar Isaac's a great actor. So
after Moon Knight, I'm declaring them out of the playoffs because I'm not going to watch. I'll give Moon Knight a chance because I like the character of Moonlight. I'm not going to. Come
on, you're going to end up loving Ms. Marvel. Come on, who are you kidding?
I will love not watching it. I will love her because I won't be even touching that show, so I have no reason to watch it. I mean, even if I Listen, if I liked all 5 shows, I wouldn't be watching Miss Marvel.
What if the Fantastic Four shows up in it?
Then you could tell me about it. I'll watch that scene and I'll throw up. So there you go. They're 0-5. They're 0-6. They're 0-5. They're going to be 0-6 because Moon Knight. I'm sorry. Maybe it'll be good. You tell me how I'm supposed to have faith in an 0-5 team. If your team is 0-5, I'm using NFL.
Are you a Jets fan?
Right. I'm using NFL because other teams, other sports go on for longer, as you know. But now they used to have a 16-game schedule. There's 17 games now, right? Okay. At 0-5, you're probably out of the playoffs. At 0-6, you're probably mathematically eliminated, but not technically. You probably have to now in the NFL, as of the 16-game schedule the year before last. I know there's 17 now, and I don't follow it much anymore. So let's just go with the 16-game schedule of the NFL, right?
Yep.
If you drop your first 7, you probably don't have a prayer.
Yep.
And you're probably mathematically eliminated by 0-6 to 0-7, with rare exceptions. So I'm going to treat him like a 16-game schedule football season, just for old time's sake, because I miss being able to love football, and that's over. Although I might watch the USFL. In fact, I'm going to watch the USFL. Believe it or not, it's coming on in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I'm going to say that if Moon Knight becomes the 6-0, their 6th straight loss, I'm going to call them dead on arrival for the playoffs. We used to, when I was doing my Clobberin Time show, when we did our NFL weekly show every week, a buddy of mine, we when we started getting to like a little month and a half into the season, we had this kind of fun thing we did. I forgot where I'd heard about it before. We were doing like, okay, let's do our weekly stick a fork in them. Who's done for the season?
Who's done?
Who's
it over for?
Yeah, who is it over for? And we started about week 6, week 7, right? Somewhere up in there. You give everybody a chance. Week 5 was where we started. And so we go, Jags, you're done.
Well, that happened a lot.
Right. I just used it as an example. Yeah. Jets, the Jets, you're done. Lions, you've been done since week 1. I'm sorry, Vigilante. I feel bad for my boy Vigilante Wilson. He's a long suffering Lions fan. So yeah, that's so we're at 0-5. We're gonna get to 0-6. And I hope I'm wrong. I would like that to be a decent show.
You always want these shows to be good. I mean, it's it's a sad thing when you take some of these heroes and it's one thing to be like, it's all right, it's not great, but when it's really disappointing, that's when it really sucks, or when it doesn't match the character, when they throw overt politics into it, or they just screw up the stories, right? I mean, then it's really, really disappointing.
Yeah, reverse. Maybe so, Phantom. The reverse Dolphins. When it comes to Disney minus, thinking that's the 99 Detroit Tigers. I don't know about the Detroit Tigers of 99. I don't know much about baseball, but I know about the 06. I remember, or the 08, or the 08 Detroit Lions were 0-16. Oliver says, Clobby Mark, any favorite female Superwoman duos? Colin, when you miss a night, that's a good one. I mean, none of them.
Yeah.
Supergirl and Batgirl is a really good one. I like you there because Barbara and Kara were true friends. Raven and Starfire, were they? Again, I don't know. And were they friends later? Probably not in the early. Probably not in the ones I was reading, but maybe later on. Rogue Storm could be, yeah. Black Canary Huntress. There you go.
Definitely, yep.
Wasp, She-Hulk. Oh, those are your. Okay, so Oliver likes Colleen, Misty Knight, Supergirl, Batgirl, Raven, Starfire, Rogue Storm, Black Canary and Huntress, Wasp, She-Hulk are his favorites. Well, very good, yes. And again, and there's the thing: we are being, especially Mark, of course, not me. I'm not as sexist he is, but I am being sexist and only picking the guys.
Yeah,
but I just never really think about. I know because look, let me just be honest. When all these characters were big, comics were made for boys. So
yeah, I mean, you had was it Spider-Woman, who was one of the first. I'm trying to think of like when I was reading. She got her series in the 70s, and then you had Ms. Marvel had her, the first series, and that had to have been a big deal, right? With the MS instead of Mrs., right? Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, yep.
Though she had pretty skimpy costume, especially the first one. Her midriff was showing there.
I like that costume.
The very first costume.
I like that costume.
Who did Jessica Drew team up with a lot in the comics? The Spider.
I don't know.
She must have had some female.
I don't know. They didn't really have very many.
Ups, huh?
Like Phantom says, there weren't that many. There were far fewer superhero lady friendships. I think that's true. Even though Oliver, fair enough, named a few of them. There you go. But it's true. Look, and they have them, I suppose. Billy the Mauler and Patsy Walker. Because Oliver,
I love Patsy Walker.
One thing I've been told by a lot of women, and then women have friends too. The way you make friends with other women a lot, but I've also know a lot of women who don't make friends with other women that well, the same way as they make friends with dudes, even. And what female friendships aren't generally Cagney and Lacey.
Well, my wife's not listening now, so I don't want to stick my but get in trouble with the ladies out there. But yeah, I've heard that too, where we'll say like the old fashioned stereotype is guys are going to fight, they'll punch each other, and then they're friends the next day, and then other side is woman, or this is stereotyping, but they'll say women will hold a grudge and stab each other behind the back, but that's not saying whether that's true or not, but
I've had many women tell me that all their friends were guys. Not that they didn't have. I don't know many women who have female friends as women. Usually that's through via their couple, like they're friends with a couple, and they're like they and their husband, or they and their boyfriend are friends with a couple, and become friends. And of course, if they have sisters, they're different, they're close. But I've had many women, and this no one's speaking for all women or generalizing. Not a monolith. But I'm saying I've had many women tell me point blank, well, I only really like to hang out with guys. I only make friends with guys. I don't really hang out with other women that much. I mean, they do. I mean, obviously, they need to sometimes. I get it, but I've had them say that kind of stuff to me, and I'm not being suicidal. I would never say anything. I go, okay, sure, because I've had them say. I had one flat out say to me, said, all my best friends are guys, and I would say, really, why? I remember it was a dumbass one time, like a long time ago, and I made the mistake of asking why to some lady friend of mine, and she said, because women are bitches. That's why. She said that, not me.
Not yet. We're not.
And I tried not to laugh. I tried not to laugh. I said, "Oh, wow, look at." She said, "No, I have more fun hanging out with guys." And I even said to her, "I said, yeah, but you do know every guy wants to do you, right?" She said, "Yeah, I know. So what? I still have more fun. You're more fun to hang out with. Guys are." I said, "But men are pigs." She said, "Yes, you are, and you're still more fun to hang out with." But okay. And look, and by the way, she and I were very dear friends, and she knew I wanted to do her because and she thought it was funny, and she didn't care, and we were good friends. Of course, we had, we're both with someone. But point being is that I've been friends with some beautiful women before, and a lot of them they will make friends with a dude quicker than they make friends with women. I'm not saying that's always true of all women. Some women are best buddies, I guess. You just don't hear the same about it. You don't hear about famous female friendships, do you?
Yeah, I'm trying to, and I've read plenty of comics. I'm trying to think of, who were.
I can't think of one that stands out. And like I said,
Oliver
named out some good ones. Oliver, and again, I don't dispute any of those, Oliver, but I'm just saying the only one that really kind of stands out to me now that makes me go, yeah, I see what you're saying, is I do remember, Barbara and Linda, Supergirl and Batgirl being close.
Yep. And Barbara Gordon, now in the newer comics, who the heck is she? Well, she's with hanging out with Huntress a lot now in the newer comics. So back, and obviously Birds of Prey, but now that she's Batgirl's out of the wheelchair now, so that's a different dynamic. But they still have them together in the comics. So. Of course, Harley Quinn. Who's Harley? Is Harley Quinn?
Harley and Ivy. There, yeah, Harley and Ivy. If you like that, right. I never was. Look, confession, everybody. Harley never was particularly interesting to me. Obviously, she was okay on Batman the Animated Series. I really don't give a shit. And not only that, Harley and Ivy thing, even on the animated series, I was never all that big into.
Yeah.
Bruise for who's.
Of course, you've got A-Force, but that's new stuff. That's the all-female team. But you haven't read that, I'm sure.
Imagine how they get along.
Well, you got Captain Marvel and She-Hulk, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's never any trouble in that group. Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, look, in spite what the modern day PC and SCW idiots would like to believe, men and women are different. Shocker, I know that's a shock, and we do things differently, and we relate to each other differently. So I guess it's sexist thing. It's comic book. Comic books are sexist because they only ever did comics about superhero teams of I do is because somebody had to do it. TNA Force. Now there was a great episode of Justice League Unlimited. With the girls, it was they were having that big fight arena down that underground fight club thing, and when they were bringing down all these female, and they were taking over the minds of female superheroes, and they made them fight Wonder Woman. That's where Black Canary and Huntress were in that one together a lot, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Thing is though, I would get in trouble if we had like a real gigantic audience. Yeah. They were acting like guys though. They were written like guys. I'm sorry.
Maybe because there's guys writing them, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were guys writing them. They acted to and talked to each other like guys. Now, I'm only saying that because not being a woman, I don't know how women talk to each other. I don't see them talking to each other like guys that much. I mean, it's exactly the same. And I've had them say stuff like, "Yeah, you guys are different to each other than we are." So I don't know, but that was a great one.
Yep. And you had the Female Furies, right? But that's a supervillain team. Those the Kirby supervillains.
No.
But that's not really best buds, I would say, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
But so
Harley Quinn is probably the most popular. Would you say Harley is the most popular female super anti-hero right now?
And I think Harley and Ivy's probably the most popular female friendship of them all. Yeah, Wonder Woman and Etta Candy, they were kind of like a superhero sidekick type thing. Matthew Pounder, that's a good one. But yes, Harley and Ivy, if I had to pick one, was as far as just the most famous of all, and of course she's a villain, but Lady Buddy,
super popular right now. God.
That's a legit Lady Buddy pairing, whether you like them or not. That is pretty big. And I can be honest with you, I never was into it that much. I never cared for it that much. It was kind of funny the first time on the animated series.
You're talking not the adult animated series. You're talking
the real Batman animated series, not the
Batman.
Filthy,
The first.
No, not that trash.
God, I almost put that on for my niece when she came over. Thank God.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I mean that's so adult that it's rated R, practically rated X. I mean, when you watch
it's
that,
disgusting. And I've been made fun of for trashing that thing. I'm like, why would you make something like this, DC? You filthy degenerates. Because that looks like a normal cartoon.
They trashed Jim Gordon in that show too. It's
and it looks like a normal cartoon when you look at it.
Oh yeah,
and any kid can just start watching that thing.
Oh, God forbid they did. Yeah, I think that was on HBO Max though. So
no, it was on the DC app.
DC app, yep.
But I don't know where it is. It's probably on HBO Max now. But
HBO Max now, right?
A kid could easily see that, or they could have that app. Kids have that app probably, and they're an 8-year-old kid. Mommy could just think, Mommy, can I watch the Batman cartoon? Sure, kid, whatever.
Or watching the new Batman film. My God, I mean,
even that. But I mean, I'm talking about a cartoon though.
Yeah, cartoon. Yeah. Where you'd think it would be, for kids. Yeah, but that's what I almost did. I was going to put it on, and I'm like, I didn't do it. But
I watched a few minutes of one because I'd heard some things about it. It was disgusting. I'm like, this is not, I guess I'm just going to have to be called a prude because Batman, you should not make Batman cartoons like that. Now they're not even only making Batman movies that kids can't go see. You're going to make a Batman related cartoon that the kids can't watch. You guys are degenerates. DC Comics, you are beneath contempt. Absolute more. The fact that got green lighted should tell you that DC Comics is a cesspit and Warner Brothers is a cesspit.
I mean, it's uber adult. I mean, I've watched most of the first season, but it's kind of thing that you feel dirty after you watch it, kind of like you were saying about Peacemaker, and you're like, they shouldn't be doing this with the characters, but it's one over the top. It's like a South Park. You're doing it with mainstream. Of course, Harley.
Not with Batman, though. And I know it's Harley is one thing, but she's from a Batman-related property.
Yeah.
And it looks like a Batman cartoon.
Yeah. But they take it they go to that extra level, too, where if you want to do a satire or a fun thing, like we're saying, like Lower Decks is probably the best of the new garbage. But, they don't even have anything good to make fun of now. So that's the sad thing. Like, as you were saying, where if you had, you're making fun of yourself, it's okay if you do it kind of tastefully and you say, well, this is an alternative universe. We're doing this for fun. And it's not canon, but it's
just wrong.
I was watching Picard tonight before, I had to finish that second episode. And I got to say, like, the bones of the series.
What is wrong with you people with this? I've heard this. It's wrong. But go ahead.
I've only gone through 2 episodes. Certain elements could have made a good series, but I think I haven't gone. They're going to time travel to the past now, so it's all going to fall apart. I haven't seen that 3rd episode, but
it's so
the
bad,
3rd episode is probably going to be bad. But I kind of like Picard as an evil fascist, right? I mean, it's horrible, but like if they'd done it better, the elements of the series could have. Hey, Dave, it could have. If you'd wiped out that first season, I've said this before, and some of those elements could have made a good story, like a mirror universe. Or as much as I'm sick of time travel, and it's such an easy, thing for Q, but it's a generic, all right, Q screws things up, so the Borg, the humans are, the human race, of course, but they're doing political stuff and they're making it so obvious. But let's see what I'm sure it's going to the 3rd episode you've seen of P. Hard. It's so bad.
I don't understand how anyone likes the first 2 or could even be nice.
I don't like them. I'm just saying I could see where there's some elements there could have been a basis for a good series.
I've looked at those because you're not the only one, but I just want to comfort you at least. Gary's done this. RLM has done this, and I've looked at those things you're talking. All you're seeing is it's just not in overdrive yet.
I'm sure it's gonna fall apart. Probably
nothing good in them. It's just like I can see with it may be toned down, but remember, after sitting through all 10 of the first season, of course you might think anything not that bad. You're gonna think will improve. No, I'm just telling you, it's the calm before the storm. They're still stupid, but when you get into you watch episode 3, and if you still don't think it's whoo-wee.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stupid stuff in that second episode where it's. They got the phasers trained on people and they don't shoot, they don't put their phasers on stun and just, when they come on the ship and just knock people out. And then all this stuff with, the Rom, they've got the Romulan Legolas elf, fighting and taking out everyone. And it just doesn't make sense. At least when they did Star Trek in the Mirror Universe, boom, Kirk, they were able to,
bad.
They were able to, be in a few seconds. Kirk figures it out, and they're acting like such idiots. So, like the scientist, the blonde-haired scientist murderer, she's such an airhead in the show. It's like if you're a scientist, you're not gonna, and that's smart. You're not gonna, babble on and be a total idiot, during. So there's ridiculous stuff happening in the show, but I think, the framework would have been there for a semi-decent series with competent writers and a good cast, but we're not going to get that. So
before we get, I want to get back to Picard, but I want to go back. I want to backtrack. I want to address Peacemaker really quickly.
Yep.
Because Pop Culture Republic said I tried the first episode of Peacemaker, and I stopped after a minute or 2. It's not everybody's cup of tea there. Pop Culture. I watched it all. It was like I was telling Mark. Mark had mentioned, I watched Peacemaker, and after I'm done with an episode, I feel like I need a shower. But I can. I. It's not like I'm a prude though. I can laugh at vulgar crap. This is a show not aimed at kids, and it's aimed at a character that really had very little history in comics, almost a little bit in the '60s. a little bit in the 80s, but not much. He's just not, and they took him. And yeah, I say, I got to admit, because I got to call balls and strikes. If I think something's funny, I got to say it. It made me laugh, even when I felt uncomfortable about it. And as it got into the episodes, and it does kind of poke fun. It does, as Fan Master says, I'll tell you, it does mock wokery. It's also, people say, I got it. Look, James Gunn's a jagoff. But I got to tell you, he does, put it to you like this. When he puts woke crap into this show, he puts it in there in a way that I'm like, first of all, I think he believes this shit, but he also believes in being funny. So he puts counter views into it. In other words, and when he puts like a view in there that's woke, he does it from a tongue-in-cheek standpoint where he wants you to not be sure whether he's mocking it or not. He wants you to know he's mocking it, so you don't know whether he agrees with it or not. I got to give him credit for subtlety and nuance. He puts some not so subtle seeming stuff in there that seems woke, and then he makes fun of it. So I'll tell you this: that's what
he gives both sides too.
He gets both sides. But see, as a person, I can tell you this: James Gunn believes a lot of that woke crap. He buys into it, but he's got a canniness about him where he goes, you know what? But if I put mockery in, if I make fun of myself and my own views, even, and I put the other side in there and other, and I don't make it like I don't look like I'm preaching, rather than I'm even making fun of the guys who are saying things I agree with. People might give this show a shot and in balance and go, you know what, this balance there, I might, whatever my views are, I'm making fun of my own views even. And he has that wherewithal to do that. And the
Norman Lear and all in the Family, Archie Bunker, right? You had Meathead and you had Archie, right? And Norman Lear is a classic liberal.
And yet he was making fun of himself too.
Yeah.
Look what he did with Meathead. And his son didn't understand. Too bad Meathead never understood that. But yes. So in other words, it makes fun of wokeism. It gives you, it's balanced with it. It's got a lot of vulgar, crazy humor, and it's not to be taken seriously. And it's got gross stuff. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
But if, I don't recommend it necessarily if you're not into the sick stuff, but look, Gunn's an idiot. And he's also not an idiot. He's also a funny. He's
also
talented.
Brilliant.
He's talented. He's in the sense that here's what he possesses something that most of his type doesn't have, because he believes some of the woke crap, but he apparently possesses enough self-awareness to make fun of himself. In other words, he puts his views in the show, and then he makes fun of his views. He makes fun of the woke. If you see what you concur with that, Mark, that he's doing both.
Yeah, because you've got the people want to watch it, but so I don't want to give any spoilers. But one of the motivations for the aliens, spoilers, there's aliens in the show.
Yeah,
they're one of their motivations is a quote unquote woke motivation. And Stargirl season 1 had the same woke motivation for their aliens or villains. And the kids were like, well, wait a minute, who's the bad guys here? Like, we got to foil this plan, because in the first season of Stargirl, they were doing something, for the environment, but in doing so, they'd take over the planet. And Peacemaker's a similar kind of theme, but they make fun of it too, which is fun too. So there's like, which way is the right way? So and Peacemaker evolves as a character. The scenes with his father are very well done, and the actor, he's he's a wrestler, but he's also a good actor. He's got some depth there, and you really feel him as a character. And Vigilante's hysterical, and I'd say it's not overly gross. I mean, maybe some things are.
It's pretty gross.
Potty humor and
potty humor. Yeah.
But I don't like the. It's not gore. I wouldn't say it's overly gory though, because I don't like gore that much anymore. I'm avoiding horror movies, but
me either.
It's more like adult kind of locker room humor, for lack of a better word, but not overly disgusting. Gross, but there's fun stuff and there's also serious stuff. It hits you with some good good scenes, and of course you got that classic opening. Now I was just watching YouTube video on James Gunn talking about it, and it's a fun, it gets with that Wigwam song where it's do you want to taste it, pulls you right into the show. So it's it's give it at least 3 or 4 episodes. I didn't really like the first three episodes, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. So it's better than any of the Marvel stuff that came out. I'll give you.
It's better than those Marvel shows. I found it was sort of like this, sort of like the Suicide Squad movie. It was like, okay, one-timer that I never really want to go back and watch again. I thought Peacemaker made me laugh. I admit that I think the most fun was some of the minutia, some of the fun mentions of really obscure jokes about obscure comic books were kind of fun that are in the script.
Batmite is mentioned.
Batmite, and Matter Eater Lad and goofy stuff like this, and taking pot shots at superheroes. Some of that stuff's funny. There are things I like.
They make fun of the Justice League, the Snyderverse.
They make fun of the Snyderverse, which I appreciate them for, because I hate the Snyderverse. I hate everything Snyder, for those who don't know, as if you didn't know. So I found it to be kind of funny. I probably never go back and watch it again, but I found it. I'll probably watch the second season if they do it, but I'm not turning backflips over it. But I think it was kind of, at least it was something that was mildly entertaining, something to watch. And
the characters had arcs too.
Yeah, it was well done. It was well done.
Yeah, which you always like to see. It's not just shoot them up, bang them up. A couple of fun lines there too. And of course you had Eagly. All right, Eagly was awesome, the sidekick Eagle. But the characters all developed and had arcs and changed over the series. So that's what I really appreciated.
Comic Relief Crusader. I love Batman the Animated Series, of course, and Batman Mask of the Phantasm, in my opinion, is the greatest Batman movie ever made. So that's what I think about that.
Are you sure? I don't want to jog your memory here, but I thought you Dark Knight Rises. No, didn't. No, just kidding.
It's not a Batman movie anyway. But a little bit back before we get out of here, we'll go back to P Hard for a bit, because I wanted to steer back to that. I just wanted to cover that stuff with Peacemaker because I thought we should. I mean, we already handled our topic for the evening, and we're doing some open freelance stuff here. Okay, P Hard. Did you see the RLM's review of the first episode of the new season?
No, I got to watch that because that's funny, that's one of the reasons I'm watching this series again, so I can watch those or understand the reviews. Yeah.
Well, that was pretty funny, but I think they were like Gary, like you, like others. They're a little bit easy up on it because they kept saying, I didn't hate it," and all this stuff. I'm like, you guys are just being lulled into something because it's just kind of it was mild, granted. Yeah. But don't be fooled by it, and don't give them any slack. Because Gary and I love Gary, big fan of Gary Nerdrotic here. Love him. Like he's listening. But I love Gary. Good, he's a good dude.
Listening now,
yeah. Gary, I know you're listening to him. We love you, man. But anyway, I'm a big fan, and he's been real nice to me. But he was saying some stuff like he thinks there was because there's one guy that's working on the show that wasn't before. That's a Star Trek fan. He thinks it's like some Star Trek fan is there trying to get through, and it's little bitty pieces get through. No. I mean, that guy may well be a Star Trek. I don't care. I'm sure that it's possible that real Trek fans might be somewhere at Secret Outhouse, probably, sweeping the floors, unstopping the toilets and all this kind of crap from all those scripts that popped out of it. So, but there's like 20 producers and all this other shit. They don't care. This is bad stuff, but just like last season, which it's just getting into gear a little slower with its bad. But I mean, they got right off. I mean, they were bad in the first 2 seconds of the first season, and it was downhill from there. Yeah. This one, they were already so bad it was going to take them a while to get it into gear, but it was still everything in the first episode is still stupid, and then the second episode is still stupid, and even stupider. Third episode, holy
that bad
shit. I mean, holy shit. And they're going to wait for a couple more episodes to go by before they do another review, because I can't wait to see them talk about it. But first of all, they theorized in their first episode, the review, and I think they're right. Rich Johnson, and by the way, I would say spoiler alert, but if you are watching this show and worried about spoilers, then you're in the wrong place. If you watch P Hard and expect it, because, hey, who cares? I mean, watch it for the hell. Watch it like me, hate watch it, but and I meant I hate watch it. So, the Borg Queen, Rich Evans, and Mike. They theorized that the Borg Queen is Picard's mother, and they put the evidence together, and they were like, "Oh my God, you're right." Rich was doing it, and Mike said, "Oh shit, you're right." They were trying to, and if you watch it. Yeah, we're calling it, folks. The Borg Queen is Picard's mother.
That's hysterical. And that's the actress that was on 24. She's a very cute redhead, and
not that one though. This is a different. Yeah, but she was on 24. Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, she's cute. Yep. She was good on 24. Yep. So she's a good actress. Yeah. But
the third episode, holy shit! You don't care about spoilers, do you? I hope you don't. Man.
Well, I close my ears, but I know I'm sure it's going to be. I don't care about spoilers. But I'm sure it's going to be bad. But like the first episode, they had Borg tech, and then the Borg were able to take. I mean, that was sort of all right. That's ridiculous too. So,
okay, well, I won't spoil it for you, but I'll do this. I want to talk about a character from some jackass on Twitter today.
Yep.
Tweeted out that again they actually have. I think they're all made up probably because how can there be any fans of how can there be any fans of STD and PR? But anyway.
There are.
I'm not sure they exist. I think they're made up. I'm trying to be nice to the human condition.
From a mirror universe. There's
nobody that stupid. But anyway, so there's a P. Hard fan put out a picture of the lady that plays Raffi. I can't remember her name.
Yep.
Sure, she's probably a lovely woman. I don't know. And he said he thinks she's probably the finest actor ever to play in Star Trek.
Raffi? I mean, God bless the actress, but I mean,
but he means the character, I guess. Obviously, the character. So, of course, you won't. I wrote something. I don't know if I've been blocked yet. I wrote something like, "You got to be kidding," and because I've decided after the third episode, no, it ain't a joke. I don't know what it's got to be.
Raffi was she got revenge on Seven's husband, right? And she's like, "And you're married to a man."
Let me tell you something about Raffi.
What about Chakotay?
In episode 3 of this last one, after the end of that episode, I became convinced that Raffi is worse than Wesley Crusher.
No.
If she were on a Real Trek episode, if she were in Real Trek, I would call her the worst Trek character ever. The only reason that Wesley's still the worst is because that's actually Real Trek, even though he sucks. She's the worst character. She might be the worst TV character I've ever seen in anything ever. She might be. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Raffi. Now, the actress is just doing her job, so whatever. Raffi is probably the worst character I've seen on any TV show. Because now again, it's the
worse than Legolas on the show.
Worse. Legolas is nothing. At least he chops people up and you can watch him fight. You can find a positive about everyone but Raffi. There's a scene, and again, it's not really spoiler. I'm sorry, I got to spoiler one scene to you.
All right, spoiler. That's fine. Yeah.
She bitches out Picard in the third episode at the beginning. Oh my, Picard's like about to getting slapped around by everybody again because
he's an admiral.
She blames him for everything that happened, not Q. She says, for 50 years you've been messing around with this Q, and this is what happens. And he's using people's lives and else. And even Picard points out, well, that's what Q does. Why are you blaming me for this shit? It's your fault. Get it. I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, yeah, we all think he's an idiot because he's a 90,000-year-old robot, but how's it his fault? Q did this, right?
Yeah.
She blames him for what happened. And she gives this impassioned speech about how she's going to do this and do that. She's already a shitty character. She's a crackhead who could have never been in Starfleet. In the first season, the 15th time she called him JL, I wanted to scratch my ears off. JL. I wanted to. Oh my God.
Was she his first officer?
She was his first officer after Riker.
Yeah.
Not the first one, because there was one after Riker, I guess. But at some point, we were supposed to believe that idiot bitch was P. Hard's first officer, and she's calling him JL. I'm pretty sure you can't call Jean-Luc Picard the biggest stick in the mud in Starfleet is not going to let his first officer say that. You call me Captain, bitch.
Yeah, how would Captain Jellicoe handle that?
JL, shut up, you stupid bitch. So she blames P. Hard for. I mean, look, he's an old doddering old fool. He can barely walk, and it's his fault that an alternate universe got created. Q did it.
Yeah.
It's not even his stupid fault. He's a moron, but it's not his fault. And she blamed it on him. She's yelling and screaming at him like a maniac about it. And by the way, before I'd seen it, RMB went on Twitter and said, and I know it yet. He said, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen. I don't understand.
Oh, was that
the
what
worst
that tweet
writing
was
in Star
about?
Trek. That's what it was.
That was okay.
And I saw it and I knew what he meant. I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, but Discovery's had some pretty bad writing too. So wow,
that's what I'm saying. And he's seen it, so he knows.
He knows.
This is like it makes no sense.
Wow.
So anyway, and in the episode, well, I ain't gonna say it, but it's got so many stupid things in it, and it's back to its form. Its third episode is back to peak P hard. Let me tell you.
I watched the first 2 minutes of it because they had the cliffhanger. You know, the end of the the second episode. But
well, I had to download torrents. They don't have cliffhangers.
Yeah, so I wanted to see what happened in the beginning of the episode, but yeah, of course, then they've got they mentioned the Enterprise and Kirk and Spock, right? Going through time.
In a second, well, yeah, Kirk went back in time. Kirk had a Spock. We have a Borg queen. And here we go, turning the stupid ship into the slingshot, using the dumb slingshot effect. You did see episode 2, right?
Yeah. So they had the slingshot effect in the end.
How'd you like that shit? Where all right, they're fighting on the Captain Numbnuts. What's his name? The stogie smoking guy.
Rios. Rios. Yeah, he's a little bit better this season, but
I actually like that guy. If he was the kind of the guy I would like as a character if they handled him well. The actor, again, as an actor, I think's pretty good, but he's still shit. Why is he not in a Confederation ship? Why is he in an old stupid Firefly ship?
Yeah, that didn't make sense. Yeah,
I'll tell you why.
All the ships would have saved money. Save money.
So they can use it to go back in time with, of course, is the answer. But it's stupid. I'm like, wait a minute, why would he be? Why
he was in the Stargazer?
It's another universe, and he's a Starfleet. He's in Starfleet.
Yeah, but he's got that crappy ship.
The Confederation. So why is he in that crappy ship? Yeah. It makes no sense. Nothing makes any sense in this thing.
And of course, it's the Confederates. It's the Confederates, of course, the Confederation.
Right? Of course, it's
not too subtle there.
How about when Q slapped P hard? That was funny. I'm like, wow. Now Q is slapping P hard. I mean, granted,
he's never done that.
He figured like he saw the first season and there were women slapping him. So what the hell?
Well, plus he's just a robot. But yeah, when Cisco punched him, he didn't punch back, right?
Rappy's a Shibadari punch. What's that?
Yeah,
Cisco punched him. Yeah, it's just this whole.
Yeah, but Q is always. Oh God, John Delancey is such a great actor. It's just such a shame that this is
to make Q he made Q unappealing in 5 seconds. Q, even in the weaker Q episode, he's always entertaining and you love him. He made Q repugnant in 2 seconds. He never said anything Q-ish.
He's not charming. He's not charming. Yeah.
The first 2 seconds when he goes, let me catch up, that was Q-ish. After that, he just became the devil.
Yeah. He's supposed to be, All
right, D-Bud. Take it easy tonight, brother.
Good night, D-Bud. Yep.
Man. It just sucks. Donkeys, man.
Well, the third episode's even worse. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's just, and then God bless Patrick Stewart, but his voice is gone too, which is sad. I mean, and usually a guy that's relatively good, he's skinny, looks like he's in good health, but I don't know if he's been drinking or smoking a lot or what happened with his voice, but his voice is gone, and that was one of the best things about his acting was that smooth voice. And I don't want to pick on anyone for that, but it's a shame that
he deserves to be picked on. He's an idiot.
Yeah, well, but like Ian Anderson, I love Jethro Tull. So, but last time I saw him, he had vocal problems and he had surgery on his vocal cords that didn't go well, and his voice, he's up there in age, and his voice is gone. He can't hit those notes. He can barely sing anymore. It was just so sad seeing it. So
don't do a Star Trek show if you sound like that. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, but the first season didn't sound that bad.
He sounded pretty bad, but not like this.
Not like this, though, right? I mean, if anyone's watched it, his voice is gone.
To read Phantom Outsider's quote, this is how he sounds. I have a theory. You know why P hard is so screwed up? Wesley is head of Starfleet operations, and that explains the stupidity of P hard. Also, Wesley dated Raffi. Yes. Sorry, everyone. That's what he sounds like. Am I exaggerating? He sounds like that on a damn show. He's really terrible.
Oh, it's sad. It's sad, yeah. The only time when he's yelling a few times is as a Mirror Universe Picard. He sounded semi-okay.
Even that was pretty bad when he said, "Red alert!" I thought he was going to die of a heart attack saying "Red alert."
Yeah. And what I was saying before too, like in the Mirror Universe, when they have the Enterprise goes, Kirk and Spock and everyone figures it out really quickly. But in this one, they're bumbling around and they're acting like idiots, and Rafi's all upset that Seven's got a husband. It's like
it's so stupid. Even though they broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's his face has that ship for no reason, and everybody's conveniently, why would Q make it that hard on them to go back and fix it? I mean, he just gave them
make it that easy for them to go back. Well,
he made it tough on them too, because he said that, they had random chance that they were all going to get back together, which is convenient. But he puts their normal minds in the minds of these versions of themselves in this other universe. It's just such.
Seven's the president of the universe, of course, right?
Ripping off the Mirror Universe without being the Mirror Universe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mirror Universe, and of course they could have made that stupid Sorrento ship, whatever the ship is, look different or look a little bit better. I mean,
or whatever.
I love building models, but I don't even want to look at it.
It sucks, and I don't understand why he would be in that ship. As soon as when I was watching the episode, he's fighting on the Vulcan front. You notice that?
Yeah.
And the Vulcan front. God Almighty.
And why is that ship able to destroy all the other ships? And it's a little dinky ship, and then the Borg Queen takes it over, and they don't explain like why it's able to launch one torpedo and knock out a starship. Didn't make sense.
So bad. It's so bad. Rafi's the worst piece. She's bad. What's her face? Oh my God, what's her name? Because I recognize that Borg Queen actress, and I couldn't place her for the life of me. But I remember she was on
24 and
24, but I forgot.
And you can barely recognize her. But what's would be great? If it turned out Wesley's in charge of the universe.
I hope
right?
so.
With the Traveler.
Wesley's the watcher.
Wesley's in charge.
Yeah. Gary pointed out something in one of his reviews of the first episode. He said there's this guy who's now on the show with him, who did this show called 12 Monkeys on HBO on a Sci-Fi channel, which I never watched. But
I watched that. Yeah, it was pretty good.
He said there was on that one they were looking for some guy called the not the Watcher. It was a different name. I forgot what it is now, but there was a character. It was the same. It was the same shit though. They were looking for some guy back in time, and he was called.
Yeah, because he started the plague. It was someone who had started the plague, and done research, and they had to go back in time to stop the research. It's actually better than the 12 Monkeys movie in some ways, but it was fun watch.
Yeah, pop culture is a Mobius strip of time travel, multiverses, variants, mirrorverses, tiring and dull. Yeah, it really is getting tiring and dull, and it is. The show is too. Like in that first episode when what's his face Q shows him these skulls. You killed Gul Dukat. So Gul Dukat came back from hell then, or did he was he ever in hell? Remember he went to hell in the Pare thing. I guess that never happened. And then did you notice? Well, of course, Martok was a Klingork skull.
Yep. And Sarek, of course.
Sarek and Spock.
While his son watched.
Spock watched him. Isn't that sweet? And basically that was the Orange Man rally at the end of episode 1, of course, right? Yep. Wait till you see the stupid shit that's happening in 2024 California.
I thought the right people were in charge in California.
Apparently not.
No, that's
for some
weird.
reason they're not. The right people don't.
In California,
is just as evil as Texas.
You sure it wasn't Texas?
It was just may as well have been Texas.
Wow, I'm shocked at that. Gavin Newsom lost? No way.
No, I guess it must have lost. I can only say this must be what happened. Only because some evil shit happened. I don't know. But yeah, if you watch that RLM, he made a great case for they talked themselves into it that the Borg Queen is Picard's mother, and I have absolutely zero doubt. It is. I will be so shocked. Hey there, Cardinal Sin. Thank you so much for stopping in, buddy, with the $4.99 super sticker. You're too kind, my friend. Thank you so much. It's very generous of you. Good to see you, Cardi. Hope you're doing well, bro. So it will definitely be If that does not, I'm more certain of that than anything. It's got to be, unless it's some red herring. But if you watch their review, they're whew,
well, they're hysterical. If you haven't seen Picard, Picard is worth watching the first season, even though it's one of the worst things I've ever seen on TV. Just to better understand the Red Letter Media takedown of that series.
I recommend just watching the Red Letter Media takedown of it, and you take their word for it. But yeah,
if you want to watch a little bit of it, yeah, maybe it's too many hours to watch, but of the original series. But if anyone can explain to me why Data's daughter, left the planet in search of what, I don't know why. Like, no, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make, like, the basic character motivation is not there. You watch the whole series and you're waiting to find out why there's a planet of replicants, so to speak, and they never explain the character motivation to leave. And it's so ridiculous too in this show. Like, in the future, you'd have so many robots. Star Trek has been very limited on the number of robots. Of course, you've always had, Mudd's women and androids, but of course they're using, Romulan captives and all these, prisoners of wars, slaves. It's like, in advanced technology, advanced society wouldn't have robots doing all this stuff. I mean, it's a little ridiculous, but
it's all that happened. Yeah. Oh crap! So yeah, it's a look Picard, old news, but yeah, Picard's a piece of filth, and it's going to continue to be such a thing. And I look, it's at least by the third episode, I think they've caught their second or third wind, I guess, and they will get rid of all this nonsense of anyone thinking there could be anything of value in this show, because that way you'd have to find some way to explain away this. In other words, if you're going to go there, you're gonna have to find some way to find any good in this dumb story, and it's not possible.
Is there anything fun that happens? In Star Trek, when they ever go to the past, there's always some fun things. And
yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, there was. Well, it's spoilery though, if you care. I mean,
I don't care.
Okay, there's something funny when they crash land, and the transporters are limited power, so they decide to beam Raffi, Seven, and Rios to California. To Los Angeles. Well, of course, the ladies land normally, but Rios materializes 2 stories into the air and falls down and busts his ass and gets a concussion. Because he's the guy, get it? He's a dumbass. Even though it wasn't his fault. And then he ends up in a hospital for reasons
like Chekhov.
Yeah, but Chekhov got it doing something, on a mission to do something important. Yeah. This one, he just how many times have we ever seen my name materialize?
We've never seen anyone materialize in thin air ever.
Only for the excuse of him not to go to this hospital that is run by this really nice lady, kind of hot actually, and she runs this hospital for people that can't afford it, of certain ethnicities that are going to be would be part of the immigration preaching message later in the episode. And he's got a concussion and he loses, of course. That was his excuse to get caught, for him to lose his communicator, and for him to get taken to a concentration camp, which he will be at the end of in the next episode, I'm sure, because they all got busted. So yeah, Rios, of course,
they got busted as illegal immigrants.
Yes, because because the thugs, because as we all know, in California, it's not a sanctuary city apparently in 2024. Remember when they were making this episode, someone made the point they thought somebody else was going to be in office.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
but they were making this crap.
We try to avoid direct politics, but I mean, we've had people that were here illegally on national TV speaking at certain political conventions, and nothing happened to them.
But they think when's the last time they've ever broken into a hospital and arrested a bunch of people and just trounced all over their rights? And even the ones in this case, they weren't even illegal.
It would take a few years actually.
The woman was an American citizen, by the way. The one who ran the hospital, but they didn't give a crap. They just, of course, they're because they're white jackbooted thugs. They just take her anyway, and they take Rios. So yeah, it's not.
I can't believe Gavin Newsom would allow that to happen.
Raffi gets mugged, and the guy tries to take her. A white dude, of course, in this one of those places in Los Angeles where you have all those homeless. Like people out spread all over the place.
Encampments,
encampments. That means they didn't have to make one up because we know they really have them. and she, of course, kicks his ass and everything. And she actually starts making a commentary about how bad. Hey, Snail Messiah, good to see you.
Hey, Snail.
How bad, how horrible of society it is. How could they've ever lived like this? I'm like, didn't you see the first season of your own shitty show?
Yeah.
You regress to that already. What are you talking about?
Yeah, she was living in a trailer park, right? And
she was living in a trailer. She was a crackhead. Federation was run by dumpy old women who were racist against Romulans and everything, and Borgs, which aren't really a race, but they've had racism now. They have all the stuff Roddenberry had eliminated for his 24th century was back.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
So what's different about this?
The future, we didn't have to earn money, or of course, I think that part was a little bit overdone. But it's so dystopian in the future, and that's what's instead of writing a good story and saying, explaining what happened, and having some motivations or a good explanation, they go right to making humanity out to be bad, and of course, it's all humans first on this planet, and any aliens bad, and it's ridiculous.
Yep. So Picard's back to being the doddering old fool who's getting smacked around and treated like crap. Rios is the butt of the joke, of course, because he gets transported into the air and he has to be. We're going to get immigration crap. We're going to get.
You're really actually going to get people arresting people for being here illegally in California.
Yeah, in California, I swear to God, in 2024 on this TV show.
I mean, you know how tough it is to get. I mean, people do get deported, but you know how tough it is to actually deport someone.
And in the case of the woman, the woman says, the one running the clinic says she's an American citizen, and they take her anyway. So, okay, that's how this show was written by imbecilic Hollywood jackasses who do not live in reality. That's all there is to it. I'm like, that would not happen unless, of course, somebody, I guess, the Borg, I don't know what the hell's happening. I don't know what's making that doesn't happen. There was nothing realistic about it, but then, and I know it's supposed to be Star Trek, it's gonna be realistic.
Well, I mean, you get, if you're a criminal, you've committed some criminal offenses, but they go after you, but it's not, they're not going after, for the most part, people. I mean, they're letting people in the country now, it's giving them a court date to appear, and most of the people don't even show up, or people overstay visas. I mean,
right.
It ain't like it's, I mean, yes, I know people do get caught up in the system and all that, but yeah, I mean, it's, but yeah, it's try and go to another country and see how long you last there.
Yeah, well, we get ready. The next, what do we have? 7 episodes to go. Will be, let's see, America Bad, Orangey. There's going to be Orangey, Mr. Orange person. Going to be the Watcher guy will be orange, or whoever they're looking for will be the Orange Borg, whatever. You name it. It's going to happen.
But I can't believe that they did this to embarrass the people that are in office now. That's just horrendous.
Yeah,
are people complaining about this now, or
no? It's not going to be that. We know who they're blaming. Okay, so you know what, folks?
I gotta go watch it now.
I'm sorry I spoiled P hard for you all. No, I'm not. It comes pre-spoiled, folks. But in a way now, it's gotten back to that bad level that I'm actually, in a sick way, I can't wait to see the next one to see if it's as bad. That kind of happened with me with that last one. Every time in the first season, I would watch it and go, "This is such a piece of shit." And then after like the third or fourth, I'm like, I got to see if they could be even worse. And at least I can beat up on it, because it's not Star Trek, folks. It ruined the character of Picard for a lot of people, and I can understand that. I really can. But when I review it on Saturday nights, I try to disassociate myself from that, and then and rate the episodes based upon their merit or lack of same.
Well, plus it combines with what the actor said in real life too. It's a double whammy.
And some of the stuff they did, in real life as well. But it ruined the character Picard, and the way he acts, the way he acts in real life, of course, doesn't help. And but hey, it's not Star Trek, so I can laugh at it, and that's all I can do is laugh at it. Hello there, Dave. What Dave says, wait, that is the plot on Beavis and Butthead. Beavis consumes too much Volt Cola, and he becomes Cornholio and is deported to Mexico by U.S. immigration officers. Oh, Everyone, I want to thank you all for hanging out with us here tonight. Of course, a big thanks to the great Mark D with the C for hanging out with me. Thanks, Bud, for
thanks for having me. Yep,
for talking about superhero buddies and talking with a bunch of buddies here. Look, it was all buddies here tonight in this chat as well. So I appreciate you all for hanging out with us. Let's see who was here. Claude was here and still is. Dave, thank you, buddy. Matthew Powner, Fathom Outsider, D. Bud Martin, Pop Culture Republic, Matthew Pounder, Comic Relief Crusader, Kal-El, Oliver Belamonte, Pop Culture Republic, your Muslim uncle. Thank you so much, buddy. Cardinal Sin, thank you so much, man. Snail Messiah, good to see you there, bud. Let's see who else was here. Trevor Cunningham, thank you so much for being here. Dave, thanks. Thank you. Trying to make sure I don't want to miss anyone.
J-Man.
The great J-Man had to run, but it was great to see J-Man here.
You said Kal-El, right?
I said Kal-El. 6 was here. I don't know if you're still here. 6,
yeah, 6 is here. Yeah.
I wish we could have made it for another 4 hours there for you, but Steve
we'll
Mitchell
do some
was
time travel. Yep.
We'll do some time travel there. I said Claude.
Yep.
I said
Dr. Coffin Nails.
Dr. Coffin Nails. That's right, Dr. Coffin Nails. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. It's always great to see you. Trying to remember JD Lewis, buddy. Thank you for popping in, man. It's great to see you there.
Roll Tide, Keely Chow was here.
Captain James T. Skywalker was here.
Yep.
Keely, thank you, Captain. Keely Chow, thank you so much. Roll Tide, Monkey Jeebus, great to see you.
Yeah. Andy Masterson was here.
Andy Masterson popped in. That's right. It's an honor to see you. Thank you so much, buddy. I'm going back just to see if I can see everybody.
Oh, your Muslim uncle was here.
I think I did mention him, but I'm always going to mention again. Thank you, buddy, for that. Appreciate you, your Muslim uncle. Let's see here. I think I might have caught everybody. I hope I did. You know how that goes. This thing actually retains the whole chat now.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. You can go right back to the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. But it takes a while to go back over. Anyway, well, I think that's about it, folks. I think I got everybody. I hope I did. If I missed anyone, I am terribly sorry. You know my garbage memory. But I do appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight. Be doing the same thing Wednesday night. I don't know what I'll be doing. I might make up a topic out of thin air, or I might just I'll just show up. And whoever wants to show up, please do. I'm going to start. We got more topics coming, including some more classic comics reviews coming very soon. Looking forward to that. And so, but in the meantime, yes, Wild Card Wednesday night will be 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, as always. Clobberin Clubhouse. Hopefully, the great chief engineer will return for that.
I'll be back. Yep.
And then Saturday night Star Trek. We'll be back with 4 more episodes. Again, it's a review of season 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, Captain Jellicoe. I got to get you some Captain Jellicoe memes.
Oh, we're going to have some Captain Jellicoe.
You got to have some memes.
Yeah, I like
that
Captain
Twitter
Jellicoe.
account with Captain Jellicoe. Yeah.
I love some Captain Jellicoe. So thank you all tonight, Clobberers, for being here. I appreciate you so much. And always, a big shout out to the great Stone Loki for my intro outro. But before I get to that, we want to show you a little bit of a video that our wonderful first officer made about her amazing works of fiction. And then we're out here. So thanks, everyone. And by the way, tomorrow I had to put off the review, but next week Loki and I on his channel will be reviewing Superman Batman Apocalypse, the animated film.
Nice.
That's a week from tomorrow night. Yes, indeed. And Mark, before I do that, what will you be doing coming up? I know you got some videos.
Well, I just posted my channel again, thank you, on Discord, and we're gonna, I guess, have a lot of collaboration. We're gonna try to combine Discords, I guess. So Mr. Angel's been making Clobberin Time section, so we're gonna come up with a name for the Discord. So it's right now it's got my name on it, but we'll figure something out. But so join us over there. So if you want to share things and pictures and chat over there, we've got Clobberin Time's Clubhouse section over there now in Star Trek. So that'll be a fun outlet. And you're going to learn. You're going to be a Discord expert before you know it. Clobberin Time.
Am I?
Yeah. Well, at least thanks, Mr. Angel. I know how to do some basic rudimentary things, but once you kind of use it a little bit, you get used to it. But I got some I'm gonna do some Batwing build videos this week, so have to do a few of those, and maybe some Fortnite gaming, and more stuff from my trip to Italy. So I'm thinking of doing a food one. I'll show some pictures Thursday night, but I'm thinking of doing like a food show. Maybe I'll ask Nick to come on and ooh and ah with me with all the food pictures I took in Italy. So
no Toxic Tuesday.
And Toxic Tuesday, thank you. Yes, it was Spaceballs tomorrow night. So it's all about the merchandising. So make sure to buy Toxic Tuesday swag. So Spaceballs tomorrow night, 10 p.m. So that reminds me, I got to do the slideshow for that. But that's a classic movie with Mel Brooks, and they don't make them like that anymore. So you've got Pizza the Hut and all the gang showing up in Spaceballs and Darth helmets. So that's gonna be a fun Tuesday night at 10 Eastern. So tune into Nick Weiser's channel there for that. Yep.
Well, everybody, we'll leave you with this. Speaking of great friends and great duos, great buddy, super duos and stuff like that, here's a great one. Thank you, everyone. Whoa. Your Muslim uncle popped in.
Hey
there, your Muslim uncle.
Hey, assalamu alaikum.
Dark one. Hey there. Yeah, I put that stream. I actually accidentally put the stream link in there because I was trying to put another link from. So,
I'll just take this opportunity to say thank you for a wonderful show, and you have a good night, guys.
Thank you. Well, hang on. You can hang after these credits if you want to hang a second.
Yep, we're gonna say hi. Yep.
So don't go anywhere unless you got to. I'll be right back. Anyway. I'll leave you all with this. I've never done that before. Put that stream on. Oh, he left.
That's okay. Yep. Well, that was great. Hey. Great to say hi, your Muslim.
Your Muslim uncle.
You put it in the. You put it in the. Live chat.
In the chat. But hey, please come back and say hello. If you can. I mean, I guess he didn't hear us.
No, he heard us. Yeah, no, he heard us. Yep.
Your Muslim uncle. You didn't. We wanted you to hang out with us after we closed out. If you could pop back in, please do. If you still got that link.
Yeah, I've done that. I always worry about that too. Like when I'm going to tweet out my show that's coming up, it's like, make sure it's not the StreamYards. Like, not that it would be fun to have a bunch of people on the show, but yeah.
Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to send it to you on Twitter so you can come in and talk. In case you lost it. There you go. Yeah, I didn't mean for you to run out, man. I was just going to play. That was a misunderstanding. I think I was telling him that we're going to close up, but he can still hang out. But I was just letting him know that I put the thing in there by accident. So yes, everyone, I accidentally put the link in there.
The StreamYards link, yep.
But your Muslim uncle, you were already here, buddy, and it was a pleasure to have. Please come in, man. We'll go ahead and close out, and I'll wait for you if you can come back.
Yep.
So good night, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Briscoe, Bowler, I hope to see you in action again soon.
Count on it. Well, maybe after a brief hiatus.
Beautiful country, isn't it, Bowler?
God bless America.
What do you say we put some miles under these horses? You ready, Comet? Let's ride.
Hey.
Oh, we're still live, I think. So,
yeah, I know.
Yep.
Hey, we didn't want you to run out that quick, but hang on 1 second. We'll play the end credits and we'll be right there. So don't go anywhere.
Okay.